What's up, bitches? Welcome to Deliciously Nothing, episode 135. I'm your host, Nick Weir. I've got a fun cast today. Your regular co-host, right here.
How did you make him the co-host?
Rev.
Well, technically, this is Nick's show.
Oh, is that
Now,
Is that why we're just misogyny right out of the gate? Is that what it is?
Dude, that's exactly why I'm like,
Nick is making a stand.
I just like to say what's up, bitches, you know?
That's hilarious.
I'm here
But we
for
got,
it.
dude, we got Monty Hicks and Matt Blevins with us, of course.
Yeah.
I'm excited. What were you saying, dude?
You came out with the "What's up, bitches," and I'm like, "Oh, this is Nick's podcast." That's
right.
He's making a stand, and I appreciate that
That's
the
hilarious.
DNP network allows for all stances and all political affiliations.
We only
here's the
like to
thing.
talk
Here
to
at
bitches.
DNP, we don't have an HR department. So
Okay,
it's amazing the
Yes.
things you can get away with when you don't have an HR department.
Now
For
we
sure.
can call it a
That
studio.
is right.
Because the studio, you rent out the space. Not really renting, but you're still.
Well, I've never called this a studio. I'm not like the last guy I used to hang out with. He called a barn a studio. Yeah, come by my 8x10 lawnmower shed. It's my studio. To the lawnmower shed.
That's hilarious.
Humble beginnings.
There you go.
Those were fun days, though, man. I mean, to try to squeeze in like a full band. I mean, you got me, Monty, and this other dude, and we're large human beings. And then
The band is playing right next to you.
right behind us, so so this is the camera, and then we had a round table, so you were kind of like, if you were looking at the show, you were kind of in the round with us, and directly all of us just trying to. Are we dead? Are we dead in the water?
I think the man is
Are
stopped.
we doing it live or are you recording?
We are doing it live.
Oh, yeah,
I just went online to like check
check it out?
and we look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I bright enough?
We look good.
Oh
right?
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh, now I'm blending into the background.
Rev just walked away. So, all right. We're
No, I'm
just
back.
gonna
I just
keep-
want to make sure it didn't happen what happened last time.
Oh yeah,
us.
dude. We did have the internet cut out on us.
Yeah.
The cable died
Oh, yeah?
last week.
Yeah,
It died.
It took a dump.
well,
Rev forgot to pay the cable bill.
It wasn't even that. It was
That's hilarious.
cable.
No, it's all good. I tell my kids the same shit, dude. The internet died. We're all watching Blu-rays this week because the internet died.
I hate that I've stockpiled on movies just in case that happens.
Yeah.
I've downloaded so many movies in case my internet does go out. I'll watch movies forever. So it's just funny. Prepare myself mentally for that. So, yeah, because it's going to go out at some point. And I'm thinking about going for Google Fiber because they came through my neighborhood and started drilling holes.
Right.
So I'm like, man, it just depends.
I've got it.
So you got it?
Well, through AT&T.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's the strength is always excellent. I've never had any problems. Like, I remember when we were doing this show in Lebanon, the signal, like the frame rate would drop, so it would get really chunky and everything. And then like he had like I think he had Xfinity or something like that, so that was like one of the better ones. So when we came out here, I wanted something strong, especially if I knew that we were going to be doing something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
So I decided to get the AT&T fiber. I guess it's Google or whatever it is. It's on the same network, I guess. But I've not had any problems with it.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing that I could really say about it that, I mean, just like any of them, that like when it starts to storm, like
Yeah.
it starts to go out. But like when I was a kid, I always liked the selling point of cable. Like, you know, if you
Yeah.
had cable and it stormed, your shit didn't go out. You know, everybody's like, man, my TV says, like, I've got cable. You know? But now, especially when I even had Xfinity, like, 15 years ago, like, I remember, like, it would rain. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? I've got cable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine goes out, and they say for maintenance, every other day at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm up doing stuff at that time. Every single time. Well, maybe for 7 minutes, but it always goes out.
Like, everything?
Yeah, well, the internet.
Yeah.
So just, it turns off for 2 or 3 minutes, sometime up to 7, and then it comes back, no problem.
I've never
So
met
I don't-
anybody too ambitious for their internet plan. You're just hustling
And I have
smart, man.
Xfinity, so I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But whatever, life goes on.
Yeah, but you still paid the full 30.
Yeah, exactly. It should be on 24/7.
Yeah.
I haven't had that, but I have lived in like a neighborhood where the light, like where the power would go off, like once or twice a day for like a minute or two.
An old neighborhood or a new neighborhood?
Old neighborhood, older neighborhood.
Interesting.
Tabanas.
Ah.
Neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay.
It was so weird. It was usually around like noon. The power would go out for a minute, or something.
Is this like the Nashville barrio? What is? I don't
know.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well, I think
who
we're
knows?
in the Nashville bar.
Yeah, I was. I
That's
thought
it.
like I didn't.
Nick is on the waterfront Nashville barrio side.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm over
Half,
by.
half.
I'm over by the lake.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
I'm good.
Ah.
Yeah.
So is anybody excited for Deadpool and X-Men, Wolverine tomorrow? Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't say that I'm excited, but of all like superhero movies that I do like the Deadpool ones. The things I don't like about them, I'm not a superhero fan, but I like the Deadpool ones. I don't know if it's necessarily Ryan Reynolds, so I'm not a Ryan Reynolds
Sure.
fan, but there's something about like him being this character and like.
And getting that.
Wasn't he
Hugh
like some kind
Jackman
of fucked up
finally,
version?
yeah.
Like I don't watch Marvel, but wasn't he Deadpool before?
Yeah, it was like a momentary cameo in another. I think it was another property. I don't remember what the property was, but then they came back with this new self-aware, snarky like version.
It's 20th Century Fox versus the Marvel owning his character again.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that in the trailer where they
Yeah.
had the blown up Fox logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things to it that, like, you know, I've watched the trailer breakdowns where you see like Paul Rudd Ant-Man
Yep.
helmet in the background and shit with the skull still in it and shit. And so I'm interested, very interested to see it. But again, it's a superhero movie, and it's hard. Like, you know what I really want to see? I want to see Brightburn 2. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to. Have you seen Brightburn?
Yeah.
I've seen Brightburn.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I don't-
Superman story, right?
So like, if
That's
Superman, but like if he was just evil, like
Yep.
he
He
hits
is an evil kid.
he hits puberty and then shit goes like batshit. But they do it as a horror movie, and so at the end of it, I'm like, I'm ready for part 2. I enjoyed this, and they tie it in with the other James Gunn properties like the Super.
Oh, is it James Gunn?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so the Super with Rainn Wilson.
Yep.
You guys see
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
So apparently it's in the same universe as that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was hardcore.
Wow.
I've been a James Gunn fan for a long time, like back in the Tromeo and Juliet days.
Okay.
He wrote a Troma movie. It was supposedly in iambic pentameter, and it had Lemmy as one of the primary characters, and it is
What?
Yeah, it is the most fucked up Shakespeare translation you've ever seen.
I'm going to look it up now just
Yeah.
because Lemmy's in it.
Lemmy is like the narrator.
What?
Yeah, Lemmy is the narrator of this movie, and
Yeah, I got to see that. I haven't seen that.
it's the weirdest shit. My first wife saw me watching it one time and had severe questions about me as a person. So that's my ringing endorsement for it.
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was the first movie he ever wrote, and then I didn't actually discover James Gunn really until he had 2 hit movies in the
Dawn of
theater,
the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, and
yeah.
Scooby-Doo at the same time, because he wrote the screenplay for the Scooby-Doo live-action movie. And,
Really?
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, the Dawn of the Dead
That's
remake
cool.
though was huge for me back then. That was like,
So it's one of my all-time favorite zombie movies.
Yeah.
It's not a remake in any
No.
shape or form.
it's
or
a Zack
fashion.
Snyder movie, but with zombies.
Yeah.
It's fun, dude. It's
Yeah,
fun.
it's really great.
Yeah.
And the new Zack Snyder zombie movie that he did that's supposed to be from the same universe, but it was horrible, man.
Yeah, they haven't made good
What
movies
was
in a long
that?
time.
It was like for Netflix. It was I can't remember what they fucking called it, but it,
Not the one with Snoop Dogg in it.
Army
Oh my
of the
God!
Dead.
You saw that one? No, you laughed at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I liked Zombieland. That was a fun
Zombieland
Yeah.
was fun. Yeah,
good.
that was. But Land of the Dead kind of sparked a whole zombie like when Romero made a new movie and it was in theaters.
And that was his biggest production, too.
At the time, yeah, that would, or no, I mean, ever, I guess, that would have been Romero's
Ever.
biggest. Yeah.
That's his biggest, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's not like a super memorable movie. It had some memorable performances from like John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
But it's like, who goes back? I don't go back and rewatch Land of the Dead.
No, that's a one and done. Once you see, you may rewatch it with a friend or something like that, but it's actually connected to the two movies that he made afterward. Those little
Diary of the Dead was one of them.
And Survival of the Dead.
Yeah.
And they're so like low budget compared to Land of the Dead. He did this big production and then went
A-list
super
actors and then,
like I remember like there was a MySpace campaign to get money to raise funds to make it.
Yeah.
Like that was just like what I didn't know I didn't think it was real. And when I found out that it was real, I was like, what the fuck is going on? But there's a character in all three movies, Land of the Dead and Survival of the Dead and Diary of the Dead. He's the same dude all the way through, so he's like I guess he robs people on the side of the road. He's like ex-military or something like that. But then in Land of the Dead, you finally see him get killed. But you see him die first before the other two movies. So when you see him in the other two movies, you're like, that piece of shit.
It's setting up lore that nobody gave a fuck about in the first place. It's like, oh yeah, this is intricate and nobody gave a fuck.
To zombie movies.
To zombie movies. Yeah. Yep. Shaun of the Dead. I was the first person in Nebraska City to have a region-free DVD player, so I had a copy.
Region-free.
Yep. Back in the day, you had to have a PAL to NTSC conversion in there as well. So I had a copy from England of Shaun of the Dead, and I would show it to people on my 65-inch TV that I got in an insurance scam. That's a different. I think the statute of limitations, like 23 years ago.
Yeah,
okay, I'm good. Yeah, I was a different person.
Shaun of the Dead was, I think it was 2003, and then the remake of Dawn of the Dead, I think, came out in
04, I think.
04, yeah. And then I think they put Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright in
Land of the Dead. They had a cameo. Yeah. Yeah, that's all the zombie nerd trivia from the early aughts.
There you go.
Are y'all excited about the new Alien movie coming out?
Yes.
Oh,
I
that'll be
can't
fun.
wait to see that one.
Yeah, is Ridley Scott at the helm of this one?
I don't think so, but I don't
it's
know.
the dude that did Evil Dead Rise,
Okay.
Feodor Alvarez or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's right. I did hear that name.
Yeah, so he's doing it, and I don't know. I was kind of like, I've been so iffy when it comes to like alien movies because like they went so soft on Prometheus and everything that they abandoned it.
Yeah,
Prometheus was my favorite one.
Really?
Yeah,
no,
dude.
it's not.
I am such a dweeb that Prometheus was my favorite one because it established this mythos about the creation of man and the alien, and then the symbiotic relationship, and there was just something very compelling and deeply philosophical about Prometheus that it just keeps bringing me back over and over again.
Well, that's what it was supposed to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's all it did because
That's all it did.
Yeah.
And I'm the only that I was the one person it was made for. I apologize to everybody else who had to sit through it.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, I wanted to see what happened to Tennessee, and then the ship full of people with the aliens, and then we don't get to see that. So that's the only thing that
Or a horror movie. These are like real people. These are real. Yeah, I don't know. That's,
The only small aspect that I'm like iffy on is that they got so many aliens in it. Because the first one had just one.
just the one.
And then, second one, they had, the mother and.
You had to have
But
you
still.
had to have a piss pants Bill Paxton.
Game over, man.
Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, that's a line that you could never forget.
Dude, and then Michael Biehn, I will follow him to the end of Earth. I don't
Yeah.
care if his career has fallen apart, if he ever leads, I don't know. If he re-led an insurrection on the Capitol, I might follow him.
There you go.
It's Michael Biehn, dude.
Oh, my God. That's
true.
hilarious.
Well, speaking of, what do you guys feel about Trump? Do you feel that the assassination was faked?
I personally think it was fake. That's just
Yeah.
my personal thing.
Do you think it was staged?
Staged.
Do you think it was staged?
I
I'm
think
indifferent
it's all
on
a
that. I
movie.
haven't really looked into it enough to like know.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
It's all a movie, and it's all been a movie
Nick,
since.
he's got a new pussy. He's got
Oh yeah, he's got
going on in the world. We'll talk to Nick about shit.
Yeah, don't ask me about 2016 shit. Don't ask Nick about.
politic pussy. That's right.
I really don't follow politics, but I did follow that for whatever reason. So I was
How
like,
could you
I
not?
gotta-
It was
I have
like
to.
right in your face.
Yeah.
Could have
So
been.
when I woke up that morning, actually before I went to bed, I saw images, but I didn't know it was Trump doing something stupid. I thought maybe someone threw something on him because they had the red on his face. But that morning, when I got up and my first thing is to go on YouTube to see how our shit does, and then of course, right? Yeah. And then
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I look up deliciously nothing just to see how
Oh, just-
the clips that I'm in are doing just about every morning too. So we're probably fucking up the
Oh my
algorithm.
God.
We check every day.
Yeah, you
That's
have
what's
to.
been going
Yeah.
on.
But it was everywhere, and then so like I made a post making fun of it because when you see Trump with his Judd Nelson rebel yell type thing,
Yeah.
it looked like something that would have been staged. It was just so pompous. And so as I'm making the video and stuff like that, and then like as more stuff is starting to come in, and I'm really starting to evaluate it, and I recognize a production. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff in my time as far as creating things, producing things, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, this is how I would do it if I was this is how I would do it as I was faking it. Well, if I was going to fake it, I would have done this. And then all of a sudden everything starts lining up. So I was like, man, this is not real. This is fake. The fact that everything happens and he dumps down and then has blood on him and then the direction of the blood on his face, everything is so wrong but looks exactly like a stage play of high schoolers. Like if high schoolers would do this all live in front of you, that's exactly what it looks like. And this is the main thing, okay? The kid who is
How old is he?
20 years old, right?
How good of a shot can a 20-year-old be?
Okay, but he was also, it turns out that he was actually kicked out of his he was joining some kind of shooting club, and they kicked him out because he was such a bad shot. But the building that he climbed up on top to was the staging center for the secret police and fucking Secret Service and all them.
Jeez.
So literally their nest. He climbs on top of their nest.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes before the fucking
It's the least place that they would ever suspect.
Yeah.
you would So 10 minutes before the shooting, the kid starts climbing up there. He walks into the rally through everybody carrying a ladder and a rifle.
And a rangefinder and
And a rangefinder.
flying drones around.
So he's walking around with the rangefinder first, and people are talking about it, they're filming him. Then he gets his ladder, climbs on top of the Secret Service nest with the rifle. And the whole time people are yelling his name.
There he is.
They're like, Crooks, get down! Crooks, get down! And Crooks is like, I just got paid $1 million. I'm going to see if I can make this work. Right? So, exactly. So it's like the whole time. So then this video comes out of the Secret Service right before Trump. So anyway, they find out about the kids up there and they let him up there. Even a cop goes up there and confronts him. He turns the gun on the cop. The cop goes down. Still nothing. No Secret Service, no nothing. They show a video from somebody who was in the bleachers of Donald Trump, and he's facing that direction, and it's the Secret Service coming up behind him. Now, if you had a call that there was a active shooter in the area, the very first thing to do, they would grab his ass and take him away. They let him stay up there 10 minutes knowing that there was someone with a gun there. They came up behind the podium, behind Trump. They all staged to the fucking right. They all pulled up the Secret Service. And as soon as the shooting started, then they went up there.
Yeah.
Like they knew the shooting was going to happen.
Yeah.
So they go up there, they cover him. Trump ducks. He smashes the blood capsule on him. They get him up. He says, wait, I need to get my shoes. Right? He gets his shoes.
I've been that drunk though. Like you lose your shoes, dude. I want my shoes, man.
He tells him to wait one more time. Now he just got almost shot in the head. He asked him to wait a second time so he can do his the photo op.
Right.
Now this is what got me thinking when I very first looked at it looked like a photo op.
Yeah, it's too.
It's too much. But then when you see everything go down, you know it's a photo op.
Yeah.
It's stage set. That's the posters going on. That's him. It's the new rising of Hitler. There should be just a Nazi flag floating in the back rather than a fucking American flag, because that's the fascism we're going for.
Right.
That was set up. Everything was set up. You can't tell me that wasn't set up. They allowed that kid to shoot, even though they knew that kid wasn't going to, and even if they did. Even if the kid did wind up hitting them, it's still going to be a good thing. But they let the kid take a shot, and they knew the kid wasn't going to make his fucking shot. They knew that he didn't have a scope on there. I think he was just doing it with the fucking
Oh, he's open sighting?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so it's just, I mean, it was so staged, and it just seemed like it was allowed to happen, and it just seemed like they allowed the kid to get murdered because he's a fucking dumbass. Obviously, he was a dumbass.
Oh yeah, it's
all the
just a
things
patsy.
coming.
It's the tale as old as time with these fucking assassination attempts, and it's all a big show. And guess what? We don't get to know who's producing it.
No.
And so
No, it's a very special club, and like Carlin says, you're not in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Yep.
I honestly haven't really looked into it, so I'm glad that I heard that.
Don't take your news from DNP.
This is Fox News right here.
So I was driving across the country the day that happened, and we were listening to the radio the entire time. Didn't know it happened until my wife was playing some solitaire game on her phone, and then the message board had like people from across the seas like giving condolences to the American players of this solitaire game because the president or the
former president
had been shot.
President.
So that's how we found out.
But also, you haven't heard anything about it on his side. He walks out of his convention like nothing happened with the little
With a
bandage
tampon
barely
on his
ear.
head.
Yeah, and then you see the Trumpers all with their on there.
Oh,
What the fuck?
That's hilarious to me.
It's just like the Nazis. They know how to do fashion. You got to make
They
a
know
fashion.
how to throw a party.
You gotta
That's
have
how the Nazis got fucking big, is because they knew how to throw a party. They got big rallies. They got everybody's energy up, and then they're doing it now with the what do they call it? The migrant crime. So now we have migrant crime. We just don't have regular crime. Now it's migrant crime. And everything out of their mouth now is migrant crime. You know what the Nazis did? They said that these people are bad and they're the scourge of the world. Do you know what happened after that? Do you know what? There's a textbook that these guys run on. And it's what Trump is running on right now. It's from the book.
All I want to know is what do I need to do to wind up in Huntsville, Alabama with my family set for life at the end of all of this fascism? Because we know that Operation Paperclip, the bunch of the Nazis ended up in Huntsville. It's not that far a drive. I just want to know who I need to do. I've got all sorts of skills. If the deep state needs a pat, just set me up. That's all I want. Just set me up.
Put on your LinkedIn
I've got to
page.
leave the country because I look Jewish. They're going to line me up. They're going to put a pink star on me. Yeah, put me in a work camp. Swing low.
I am looking forward to seeing what Skinny Rev looks like as I watch from my ivory tower. Because I'm trying to sign up for the winning team.
Oh my God, this is great.
Blevins.
What is this?
Oh, great. I love this show.
My answer to the Nazis is come try and take Antioch. Just try.
Antioch.
Give it a try, dude. You can't get past the Hellcats. I'll say that, dude. Our Hellcats can't beat them.
Oh, I love it.
You can't.
Nope.
That and almost everyone owns a gun. You know.
No, I heard on the way here.
I mean, shit.
And I'm not trying to be sexist, but I did not know Secret Service could be female.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Did you see the video of the woman just stumbling? So I was watching Joe Rogan and they were talking about it, and he specifically pointed her out. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And So again, that goes back to like the whole thing being a play. They like had people there that were unprepared,
right?
Didn't seem qualified. But then on the other end, they had people on the other side that were like involved,
right?
And like at a deeper level, like almost to the point. And like, I think Trump is a dumbass, but I mean, two things happened, and I don't think an assassination attempt for real happened. I think that either A, Trump had it set up. I think it was, part of his plan, because we already know he's up to the shifty things to try to get the election anyway.
Yeah.
But then also, he's really stupid, and maybe it was somebody trying to get him, and just the shit just didn't work out. Like, he just moved his head just that one moment, and the back of his head didn't get blown off. It was just like by sheer fucking luck.
By 20-year-old.
Have you seen the UAP pictures that came out at the same time and the weird shit that's going on?
No.
No, what is that?
Oh yeah, dude. There's
So where did they come out?
During the assassination attempt.
So NPA
observed like flying across, and then there's that whole bullshit about the flag forming into the angelic figure while it happened as well.
My God.
But all I'm saying is, if it is divine intervention, it's these fucking, it's the, what I call them, quantum jesters. They just tricksters. They want
They're just here to cause trouble.
Oh, and they are causing all the trouble, dude. And
all the trouble.
I have to flip them off, because what else can you do? We're under divine intervention and weird shit, but it's not angels and things. It's like my cousin grandfather Tom. He was my cousin and my grandpa. That's the type of shit that's haunting us right now. He's just drunk on whiskey and trying to stir shit up because he's got nothing better to do, and he's gonna he's gonna giggle his way through the afterlife, causing weird shit to happen. That's all. That's all right.
It still blows my mind what goes viral in the world. From Hot 2 Girl to whatever it could be.
That's true.
Just take one thing and it goes viral and everybody talks about it.
And it's always like the stupidest thing. It's nothing ever good. Like when everyone was talking about, like say, Hawk 2 Girl in particular, when like Sloan came in here, like I think it was like 3 days after or something like that, and he was like, "Are you here to talk Hawk 2 Girl?" I was like, "What?"
What? Yeah.
And so I mean, and it was a good probably 11 days before I finally saw the actual video, and by then it was already a meme and stuff, and it had already gone viral and done whatever damage. And then when the Trump assassination thing happened, like I just happened to clip the two together, and on Instagram it got 500,000 fucking views on fucking, I mean, just all the different platforms. It's like blowing the fuck up and everything. I think it's got like 1,000 on fucking, or actually I don't know how to what it is. But but I mean, like
the Trump one's like 5,000.
Is it 5,000 now? Yeah, so I mean, it's just amazing what people are like into. If it's a meme, like meme culture right now is a big thing, and it's the absurdity of memes, which it was something that I really didn't get, and it changes all the time. It's just like every 6 months it changes into a new. The way I saw memes back in 2020, and the memes now, they're evolved, they're different. It's just always just. It's regurgitation is what it is.
Yeah.
It's something that's already out there that someone grabs and puts to something else, whether they put a sound effect on there or they clip it with something else, and it's just it's regurgitation. There's no real original content anymore.
You
it's
don't
all
even need a human in the equation, because it's almost like it's self-creating. It's just self-referential, and it keeps creating itself, and then it just regurgitates.
Because there's so many people glomming on it. So many people doing this now. When they see it, then they want to put their other things together. It's just.
And it blows my mind how short all of our attention spans are getting. Because when it started with Vine was only like 30 seconds or something like that. But ever since then, now YouTube is doing shorts. So everything is going to, hey, everybody has a short attention span. Let's get whatever's funny.
So what I realized in like the last 6 months is that I wasn't getting a certain demographic. I was getting guys your age, fucking guys Nick's age, guys Blevins' age, but I wasn't getting
a single woman. Not
Not a one.
But the 20-somethings were non-existent. There was no viewership from the 20-somethings. So going into it, and basically they want everything spoon-fed to them. So the way that they view content is, we all view our content like this. They view their content like this. So if you're not making this content and only making this content, you are losing 90%. What was the we looked at it yesterday? It was like 40% of our
really?
audience.
Is it that much?
40% of our audience is 20-somethings now, where in February it was 0.
Wow.
So have you changed your format or no?
No, we did. So what we
constantly evolving.
So what I did is, first I didn't know what I was putting out clips, and when I was putting out clips, I'm putting out clips that are 2.5 minutes, and also this format. No, that's not. They were getting 15 views, 20 views, nothing. But when I changed it to this and started doing the shorts, so anything 59 seconds and under that I can clip and put on that with the phone aspect, all of a sudden now I have a base viewership of 400 plus. Every video that I put out now is guaranteed to get 400 plus, unless it's just something that just doesn't look like it's going to read well. But now I'm getting videos, now that I'm starting to hit that upper echelon of now my videos are starting to hit 1,000. I put out a bullshit video of nothing that I already posted. I posted this video earlier, but I put it with the Hook 2 girl as at 11,000 views. So I'm just like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So if you don't go into your channel and look at, so the very first thing that anybody needs to do, if you have a YouTube channel, and this is what I've been doing, and this is from experience, look at your channel. They tell you all the time to do it, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do it, I'm just putting my shit out there. Look at what you're missing, because when you look at what you're missing, you can look at what you can improve on, because I made a huge difference. In 6 months, I completely changed my channel numbers around where I wasn't doing shit. My Saturday shows are getting over 1,000 views now.
Nice.
All my shorts are getting 400 plus views now. And it was just looking at what I was lacking. What I was lacking is I didn't have that audience. So then I addressed that audience, and now it's my most viewership now is the 20-somethings that I did not have before. And if I had them the whole time, they say in 5 years is when your channel is supposed to pop. Well, I don't know how to YouTube, so like it's going to take me another year or two to get to where I need to be, because I've wasted those. When you put out your podcast runs how, 2 hours long, an hour long?
An hour 30.
Hour 30? Okay. You can pull 20 clips from that, right?
Yeah.
And then automatically
They have AI to pull certain things out now and to change it.
I'm not trusting that yet, because how does that know what's funny?
Okay, well, you can still go through and edit.
Yeah.
I've tried the free trial, and I'm like, man, that's kind of look good, because it takes your clip, you can turn it, landscape to horizontal, whatever, and then it also gets it down to, okay, what did people laugh at? What did they hear? I'm like, this kind of works. I haven't pulled the trigger on paying for it yet, but I can see how it works.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I'm really thinking about it. But the only thing about it is, I'm thinking about changing my camera angles up, because it's better if you do a long shot, and then it takes it and divides it up, and then takes it and
makes the collage.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. What I do is I do everything on my laptop as far as clipping the clips. So I clip clips for actual clips. And I do a clip compilation instead of putting them all out. I put all my clips in a compilation for someone who wants it uncensored. Because when you do the shorts automatically are censored. Sure. So in my shows, man, I mean, everyone's cursing every 2 seconds. So you just beep, beep, beep. So to get the uncensored ones, I do the clips, and I have an episode which is about an hour and a half long of just the clips. But then through the week, I put all my shorts on my phone, and then through the week, I just edit 3 of them a day. In the morning when I have my coffee and smoking a joint, I'll make a video. It takes 10 minutes where I edit it on my YouTube or my editor. Then I put it to all the different medias. Then when I get home on my lunch break, I'm taking care of the dog while the dog is outside. I'm making another video, send that out. And then when I get home from work, I'm sitting down, chilling out, I'm smoking a joint. Then I'll do another video. Yeah. And so then maybe at the end of the night, depending. But I mean, I've got so much video on my phone right now. I mean, I've got videos for days, and I've got shows that haven't even touched yet. This is just Saturday shows that I've done. Yeah. So I mean, the last few of these OG shows that we've done have been fucking hilarious. It's just that I just don't have an editor. Yeah. I need a guy who's just going to be like, hey, I love what you do, and I want to edit your show.
So you hear that, 20-somethings that are not watching? You hear it? Rev, that's a call to action.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, because, remember how I found y'all was in a Craigslist? So I tried putting Craigslist out there to see if I can get an editor. And I'm like, nah.
I've abandoned Craigslist.
Well, put it Facebook Market, Craigslist. I did all that. I'm like, man.
We found ours on Facebook, I think, right?
our audio techs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook.
So also a good thing to do if you're starting out and you're doing anything as far as bringing people in. So say like you need a sound guy, bring 2 sound guys in. Don't bring 1 sound guy in.
Why 2?
Well, because you don't know which one's going to be the professional and which one's going to be. So when we got both jacks, and I won't say which jack, but one jack seemed like he was going to work better than the other jack. Well, that wound up flipping because the other jack wound up being the superior jack, and like this dude is like just dialing shit in to the point where it's just like, can you even hear that frequency? It's like, are you going down to where dogs can hear? Or just like, just really into it and stuff, to the point where like the other guy would bitch a lot and have like drama, where the other jack just shut the fuck up and did what he needed to do to get the job done, and when the show was over, he fucked off. You didn't hear from him. He gave you the input, and what was great about the jack that we wound up keeping is like he'll suggest something to me, and then like me, I automatically just kind of like, oh, it's all good, man, blow shit off, and then he's looking at me like he's serious. I'm like, oh yes, so I understand what you're saying, and like I'm realizing like now he's taking this way more serious than I'm taking it right now, and I need to get to his level right now while I'm talking to him, and then he'll fuck off and I'll fuck off and I'll go back to doing what I'm doing, and he's going to take care of business. I've never had a sound man that has come in and did the job, and I had not once had to hear bitching, drama, need help, nothing. He's got it done, and it was just like, I don't know what to do. Oh, you want money? Here, I will pay you. Yes, we're going to pay you now. We have to like bring them in for free, intern them, get 2, bring them in for free, and then the one that you want to keep, get rid of the other one, and then pay that one. You've got to pay them. Now, right now, a going rate of a fucking sound man could be pretty cheap. I mean, pretty expensive. You're looking at like $100 like an hour in some cases.
Thank you.
We've lucked out, and this guy's young. He's still in school, so we've managed to get him for $50 for the night. It's not great, but I mean, it's like he's not coming out here for nothing. He lives in a neighborhood. He's not getting out, and he's also getting experience. And experience is what he's getting. I mean, some of these bands that come in, man, they are taxing. They all want something.
Because remember in Lebanon, we used to have a universal mic that sat on a table. That's all we used.
Things were simpler then.
But now I'm like, I know now the difference of having mics versus having that universal mic.
That was really easy for what we were doing because we weren't taking it seriously. But like the second season when we decided to take it serious, and especially when we were having bands come in.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get the cocksucker to put the mics on the table like this. He had them all hanging. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I was like, why are they hanging from the ceiling? Forever. It was a round table. It was forever. I was like, can we just cut a hole in the middle of the table and have them coming from the hole, and then everybody... He wouldn't do it. We bought the table for $20. We could cut a hole in it. I was like, please. And it's forever. For 2 years, he had them like telescoping down into our faces like we're going down on somebody, man. It was insane. All I wanted to do was cut a hole in the table.
It's like a basketball shower room.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That mental picture is that is not good. That's hilarious.
Oh man, but those days were fun. Despite
it's all learning.
Yeah, well, that's really what I look at.
Yeah.
Those initial years in Lebanon, it was all a learning experience. What I really liked that what we were doing was the festivals and shit. We would have bands, we'd have
all day long in the mud.
In the mud, yeah, and like that was really great. I really wish that we kind of could continue to do that, but we have to have an organizer. Like we were doing all this on this dude's land. We built a set. We built a complete set on this motherfucker's land, And we had everything. I mean, we could do live shows, we could do the comedy show, we could do the podcast. Like, the world was our oyster. The way that we built the building, though, there was an outdoor stage, there was an indoor stage. We were going to set the podcast area was actually going to be built out like a bar.
Oh, wow.
So it was going to have like the bar counter with the shelving with all the bottles in the back and everything. And we were going to be on the fucking one side of it, and then like the guests would be on the other side. They had the band area there. The sound guy was going to be over in the corner. It was sweet.
The mental thought of that would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't follow through, but
Well, so he's the dog that caught the car and didn't know what to do with it, right? Exactly. So, well, you know what's fun? And I don't really want to, fuck you, man. So, he invited me to come down to his first 2 shows, and this is back when we were still trying to be friends, and he's still trying to tell me that, you know, everything happened because of principle. And, well, let me just tell you, if you're a friend and you fuck over another friend out of principle, you were never friends with that friend to begin with, right?
True.
So I went to his show, me and Crash went there, and I went just because I knew everything that was going to go wrong, and I just wanted to see it in person. Because the very first thing I knew that it was not going to go live, and the reason why I know it was not going to go live is because with YouTube, you've got to hit the live button 24 hours before you do anything in order to validate the account. You just can't go in there and expect to do your show and hit live, because YouTube's going to be like, no, no, no. So I knew I wasn't going to see it live, so I drove out there, and he was so like scatterbrained when I actually showed up. The whole time, he wasn't doing this with anybody. The whole time he was coming up and handing me joints.
Really?
Handing me joints. He came and he was giving everybody else the bullshit alcohol. He was coming over and bringing me the Crown and everything. He wanted me to come sit up in front. I was like, no, I'm going to sit in the back because I don't want to be like, you know, this is not my deal. This is your deal. Plus, I wanted to see everything go down. And the very first goddamn thing was he went to go live. So then he had started having this crisis and everything, and he didn't know what to do, and you could tell that he just kind of went blank, you know, and so he's kind of sitting there. The gears are going, but nothing's happening. No sparks are firing, and I was just like, John, just record, post it later, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and Are you fucking kidding me?
it never thought to cross his mind.
Never
And
crossed
so
his mind.
that whole night he only had one microphone line. So he had a podcast area like this, and then he had a little band space area right here. The only mic that was live was the lead singer's mic for the band.
For the whole time?
For the entirety of the time. So all you heard was like a lot of mumbling and nothing, and then when the band started up, all you hear a dude was going, that's all you heard was Jack Torrance.
Oh my God.
Sorry for people at home for yelling into the mic, but
Wild.
yeah, it was just one of those things. And so then, like, he invited me back for the next night, and I wasn't going to, but I didn't have anything to do because we had a show that got stolen from us, and so we were a month behind. So I went out there to watch another train wreck, and then at that point I saw all I needed to see. I never needed to deal with any of that bullshit again. I realized that he wasn't capable of doing it.
No.
And that's all it was. It was just like he destroyed our friendship because of his selfishness, and he thought that he could fucking do something, I guess. I don't know if he thought he could do it better than we were doing it, or just that he wanted to do it by himself or whatever. I'm not. Well, you actually did the show. Did he say any insight to you? Because you actually went out there.
Yeah, I went out there. Okay, my thing is, you know, I can do computer work everywhere, so I was in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't come all the way out here past your house without at least stopping and saying hello.
Right.
So then he invited me back to a show, so I was like, all right, I'll go out there. So yeah, I had a good time and enjoyed it, but I'm like, man, there's so much room for improvement. So not to talk bad about him, but I'm just saying I would do this different, I would do that different. But it kind of takes a group to put it all together.
It does. It takes a good group.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, what
He's fucked
started that
people over,
show?
so he doesn't have a good group.
yeah.
And it's going to evolve too. It becomes its
Yeah.
own thing, and
Well, we had to, because like when our very first show, it was me and Sloan, and we had another guy who was supposed to sit in with us and didn't. And so when we came back and it was just me and Sloan sitting there was no, like, the vibe of that original show, the way it was, because like how I started off every show was the guy who I knew for 30-something years. I would start my conversation talking to him. That's how I started every show. It it was pretty much what we were doing every night before we were doing the podcast. We would get together. I would have a bottle of fucking liquor. He would have a fucking quarter ounce of weed, and we would bullshit and talk and play music and write music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was always talking to him and starting off every show, and that's how it became. So when we did the show here for the very first time, and that seat was empty, it was like there was no show. There was nothing. It was like, I know that we're Deliciously Nothing, and I know that the show is based on nothing, but there's actually well, nothing now, yeah, but there was actually something then. And then he wound up coming and sitting in and for like our first segment, for like our third episode. And when he sat down, and all of a sudden there was the show. All of a sudden you felt it. All of a sudden it was like, oh, well, this is the show. Yeah. You know, it's too bad that you're a thieving cocksucker, right? Because, I mean, it was just like, there was no reason, like, this is the reason why we broke up. I mean, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, we had hired a chase producer. She wound up not being able to do the job, so we decided that we were going to let her go at the end of the season. We all unanimously voted to get rid of her. That includes John, the guy who I started the show with, Sloan, Crash, and I mean, we all unanimously to get rid of this girl. So before I even had a chance to get rid of her, New Year's Day, because of that show that they did that was all fucked up and only one mic was fucking hot and everything, they started fucking getting onto me about not airing the show. And it was one of those things where it's just like, look, there was no fucking audio to it. I'm not going to fucking air it. Same thing that they did when I fucking went out there. They had one mic fucking going. I had gotten COVID. Crash got COVID, so we couldn't go out there. Crash couldn't do audio. Dew was my old audio guy. He should have been able to do it, and he would have been out there the whole fucking time doing it. Show doesn't go on. So she's yelling at me and everything, saying, well, if you don't put the show on, you don't do this, and give me all these ultimatums that she's going to quit.
Good.
We're like, okay, well, bye. We don't need you anymore. I appreciate your service and everything. And so John calls me back and he was like, if we let her go, I'm shutting this down right now.
What?
That's exactly what he said. Exactly what he said. I'm shutting it. I was like, John, we voted to get rid of her. What the fuck is your problem? So then it goes on from there, this back and forth. Apparently they had been talking the whole time behind all of our backs. They were going to do this anyway. So it just took the fact that they were just biding time in order for the set to get built before they made their move. Wow. Sloan put so much money into that building, and we all put in so much time into that building to build that fucking set, that, I mean, it was just crazy the fact that it's on his property. I mean, what can we do? Yeah. So, I mean, but basically, she forced his hand sooner. It was going to happen regardless. He was going to take the show and cut us out. Everything. He had his dream. He had his studio. He had his dream, and he was going to cut us the fuck out. So it's going to happen anyway.
Look where we are now. Huh? I think it's ironic that I just broke the microphone.
That's hilarious.
I didn't do that on purpose. I'm not.
Sorry, I broke your podcast.
It's not the first time.
That's not the first time.
As long as you're not vomiting into a bucket, I think we'll be good. I don't think that's good.
Well, any podcast, I think it takes at least some good conversationalists to keep it going. Because you don't want dead air.
Yeah.
You don't want people to just sit there.
What's crazy is that I never was a conversationalist before the podcast. The podcast actually gave me skills to talk to people.
Really?
Because before the podcast, I might have 5 minutes of small talk to talk to any one given person, and at that point, I'm looking for a way out of the room.
Yeah.
Right?
Really?
Like
You talk more than anybody that's sitting at this table.
Very true.
So to my friends, like people I know on a personal level, somebody that I just met, like on a podcast, and not even care. Like I wouldn't if I especially when we, so 2019 season, I was just there to have fun. I didn't give two fucks. The only nights that I really probably had a really, really good time was especially the first night that you showed up, because you threw the fuck down. But there was some guys that we had on there that I gave no fuck about these motherfuckers. I'm not going to say that they were talentless and all this other stuff and talk shit about somebody, but there was just some really just droll people and I couldn't think of anything. I'm looking at my fucking watch or the phone, waiting for the time to go by, just waiting for 45 minutes. I'm like, if we could just hit 45 minutes. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's been 30 minutes. It's been a fucking hour. And so I'm just trying to get, and just as soon, I'm just looking at it, it's like 44, 45, fuck you all tonight. Right? It's just like some of these people were just hard, and it's like I just couldn't do it. They were uninteresting, and it's like I wasn't thinking of shit to say, and I wasn't taking the host role seriously. Third season, though, something clicked with me. It's like when I got rid of the Rev character in the second season, like halfway through the second season, I got rid of that character. I didn't want to be the Rev character anymore, and I was trying to be, people were like, well, why are you so kind of like laid back? I was like, I'm just trying to be me. I'm not trying to be, I come out, every once in a while, I get hyped up and everything, but I was leaving that behind. But once I started to sit there and listen to people and taking it seriously and then actually be interested, to actually have a conversation with people outside. This fucker right here, he came over fucking New Year's and we sat and talked for 8 hours like it was nothing. 8 hours!
Were you trying to fuck him? Like, what?
No.
I never had an 8-hour conversation that didn't end up with pussy at the end of it.
On the hour, every hour, we were sparking up a joint. It was just it was just like a joint, talking forever, joint. And I have never done that. Like when he left that night, I got thinking, I was like, I've never sat and talked to one person for 8 fucking hours before, and it was like he only left because it was time to go. I mean, it wasn't like
it's tomorrow.
It's like we didn't run out of conversation. So I think doing the podcast made me a better speaker. It made me a better conversationalist. When people stop me just in my, I'll be sitting in the fucking line at Walmart and someone starts talking to me and I find myself just talking to them and I'm just like, I'm doing my fucking groceries, I'm you scanning everything and they're still talking and I'm talking and just like, well, I've got to go now.
Well, see, I like podcasts that we can sit and talk to each other. Like a lot of times I go to bars and clubs and the music's so loud, the crowd's so loud, you really can't hear each other, you're hearing half the conversation. So I'd rather do this. I'd rather sit and talk to people. I don't care what we talk about, as long as we sit and talk about something. Yeah. But to get people together and just to sit and talk. I used to love how we had random people on. We would have MMA fighters and DJs and a lot of bands that get it. Porn stars. So
we're about to have a wrestler on our podcast.
So that's what I was about to say.
I'm trying to get Chase Stevens on mine, but you know who that is?
No.
Anyway, he's big in the small town arenas everywhere.
So last year we had a wrestler come out. Oh man, I can't remember his fucking name. But we had our last festival, our last big festival where we had the 12 bands come out, and we had this wrestler come out. And it was supposed to be a big thing for him being there. And then when I saw him and was introduced to me, he's walking on a cane and shit and everything. And he's still a big dude, but he's fucked up. He's lived a hard life and everything. And so the guy that was organizing the event, he stole our money in order to pay this wrestler. Apparently, the wrestler took the money from the door, allegedly locked himself up in a hotel room and blew himself out with whatever his candy was, and then wound up being in rehab a day later.
Really?
Yeah, he put himself back. So it was like DNP put him in rehab.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Rehab. I don't think that'll happen with the wrestler.
I'm so
this guy
close.
is a character, though. He does dress up rather well.
Whatever happened to the Dracula dude?
He's in LA now, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So it's funny. All right. So
I remember seeing him in public one day. And I'm like, no way. So anyway, go ahead.
He's a good dude, man. I like him. Did I ever tell you how he left the show? Okay. So we were doing the commentary, and he was one of the hosts on the commentary because I wanted to have a horror host on the channel.
Yeah.
So we had the band come in, Demon Belly, who is actually Slick Wicked, but they have this alternative persona. So they came in dressed up as demons who were in a rock band. And so they came in and they were just being very insensitive, very obscene. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. Yeah. Now, I thought a guy who would dress up in vampire paint would be cool too.
Yeah.
What I learned that night is that he was devoutly Christian.
Oh, really?
And did not realize that. So the setup that I had put him in was probably the worst thing I probably could have ever done, to the point where they wound up saying something blasphemous. I don't remember what was said.
Yeah.
But the Count gets up and he puts his hand up like this, and you know he's just about to say just whatever horrible thing comes to us because he's just so fucking pissed. And then he takes a breath, he decides not to, and he walks out. And so then I'm sitting there and I look at John. I was like, John, see what's going on and everything, you know, because, you know, so I'm the host of the fucking show. I'm sitting there trying to hold it down. So John gets up and everything and says that the Count might come back in and everything. And so I'm there with Demon Belly. And the Count does not. The Count drives away. The Count was done. So that was the last appearance. Yeah, it's like it broke him. And like, you know, he didn't drink or didn't smoke or anything like that. So he's there with me and John, who drinks and smokes. So it was already, but it was like a fun show. You know, we were watching movies, and you've done the commentary.
Yeah,
okay.
it was a blast.
It was a fun time.
So he's in LA now as a horror host, and he's got a gig at an actual theater. So he'll get up before the movie starts, and like a William Castle type deal is that he'll you know, introduce the movie and stuff like that. And I see pictures of him outside, you know, the marquee of the theater and everything, and I'm like, well, he's doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Applaud him for that.
Yeah.
But we've had so many people on the shows, man. I thought that was just awesome.
It's been
because a lot of bands, I get it, but man, the other people, that drag queens and MMA fighters and whoever else, it was just.
We didn't have really any type of set thing, so that's really why we had so varied of guests.
It was just random.
Yeah, now we've really kind of narrowed it down to just musicians and comedians. I don't think we've had anything random. Yeah. We were going to have this one dude. Did I ever tell you about the one dude who had the tank on top of the Jeep? And he was going to... So...
I love it.
Season 2 was going to open with this guy, and it turned out he's highly schizophrenic. Like, he sent me this website that he wanted to make me this realm, these digital realms, and like some crazy shit. I don't know what happened to him. I can't find him. He's gone.
He's in his realm.
He's in his realm. Yeah. So anyway, he's like, okay, well, I've got this. I'm a performance artist, and what I do is I have this Jeep. He has this hardtop Jeep, and on top of the Jeep, he puts this glass cylinder box. It's like it's squared off, but it's tall, and it's filled with water. And so at the bottom of it, he puts oil paints and hard canvas and brushes at the bottom of it. So then he climbs up the Jeep, he climbs up on top of the box that's filled up with water, stands on top of it and kind of straddles it, and then he lights his legs on fire like Nikki Sixx with lighter fluid, right?
What?
So yeah, so then once he gets burning good, he pulls his legs in and drops into the water. Once he drops into the water, there's video of him. I'm only saying this because I've seen it in video. I've seen him do it. So he turns himself upside down, swims to the bottle. At this time,
in the Jeep.
On top of the Jeep, and on this thing, and so by this, the water's murky and shit from all the burnt clothing and shit. So now he's at the bottom of it with these oil paints, and he's painting a picture underwater with the oil paints. He turns the canvas when he does, and he's showing it. So that tells the guy who's outside with the sledgehammer he's ready to come out. So the guy that's outside with the sledgehammer walks up to the box. He climbs on top of the Jeep and swings at the box, which shatters it, and he comes falling out with the fucking flood of water off the top of the Jeep into the fucking driveway.
I gotta see this.
And he's holding the canvas.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
Wow.
Where in his brain did that come up with? That's hilarious.
Man.
There's so much stuff so there was a point where like it was a hard time booking him, and I couldn't book him for the premiere, and I was trying to book him from other ones, but then he would call me thinking that I was his aunt and stuff like that. And then there was the one time that he was like, well, if you're not my aunt, what did you do with my aunt? And then like I realized that this dude was functioning on a different level to the point where I eventually had to block him. I was trying to get him out there because at the time it wasn't my house he was coming out to.
Yeah.
I probably told you this, but I would try to just book the craziest people that just to bring over to this dude's house.
Oh my God.
If you did, like, there was a dude who was like, he was Jack Daniel. He was juggling Jack Daniel on the side of an interstate. And I was like, hey man, have you ever done a podcast before?
Yeah, I got this girl who has a bullwhip and she lights it on fire and kind of whips it around, and it also hits her several times.
Yeah.
Oh.
She likes it, and so I'm like, I want to try to put on a podcast.
Sure.
I don't have the space for it.
Yeah.
You don't want her having your home address either. That's a new type of problems.
So, so I would love to have. I have to film it outside somewhere.
Yeah.
At a
But
public
yeah.
place.
A lake, maybe.
But yeah, go jump in the lake when you catch yourself on fire.
Yeah. That's too funny.
I love it. I love it.
That's what we need is a podcast studio at a lake. Then we can get the crazies back out.
There you go. Oh,
Yeah, dude.
so I've been on. I showed you that cave video, right?
Yeah.
So ever since I watched this fucking, did y'all know that there's caves in Antioch?
In Antioch.
Oh, I saw like a screenshot of that the other day.
Okay.
It's right underneath the city.
So, do you guys know where Antioch Pike and Haywood Lane meet by that Quicksack?
Yeah.
Right, the Walgreens. So
Okay,
if you park at that Quicksack and walk down into the creek, and then walk along the right-hand side up towards Haywood Lane,
Yeah.
you'll come to a false cave, and then you'll come to the actual cave. And the cave goes down pretty deep. You don't have to do any like climbing or crawling. You just walk through, and it is beautiful. Like at first, when you first go into it, there's some graffiti in there, and someone spray paint Hammond Cave. I don't know if it's called Hammond Cave, but then once you get like in there, where people I guess were afraid to go because it's a cave, it's dark.
Yeah.
It is so beautiful. It's stalactites, stalagmites.
Really?
It's
In
just
Antioch?
and it goes back pretty far. There is an end to it, but then YouTube, they're like, oh, you like caves where you live? Well, here's another one. And it was showing me this one that's right off of I-24, which is, holy shit, the most beautiful fucking thing that I've ever seen. They were showing all these rare formations and everything. So this cave, they've actually got it walled off. They've got it cemented off, and then there's a metal door, a small metal door, probably about like this right here, that you have to crawl through, and only one person has the key. They go and unlock it for you if you want to go in there, and you have to crawl into it, and then there's like 2 main rooms, and this one you do have to crawl a little bit and climb a little bit, but when you get into the first room is beautiful. You're like, holy shit, man, I can't believe this is there. Then they go back to the second room, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't know this was here.
Wow.
Like, it was just like the beauty. And then there's like other things. It's like, dude, for real, I would love to go to one of these caves and do like an hour-long, 2-hour-long podcast.
That would be fun.
Puff out. I wouldn't want to drink. Like, I wouldn't want to drink, but I would definitely want to go in there and like smoke a joint, fucking film it and everything. You wouldn't be able to go live because you're underground. But this last one, this one that's off of 24, that second room. So a stalactite goes down, stalagmites go up. Yeah. So they had all these beautiful stalactites and mites, and then they had these crystals that were hyratites, I think that what they're calling.
Okay.
But they grew from the sides off of the stalactites. So when you go in there, the whole place is like crystalline and it's like psychedelic. It's like something that somebody would like paint for tripping.
Wow.
And then they would shine the lights around, and some of the stalagmites and stalactites would be blue, some would be green, just whatever mineral they were made out of. So when you shine the light around, just everything just took different colors. Holy
Once
shit.
you climb in, how tall is it? How big is it?
So the in this one, it's a lot of climbing and a lot of crawling.
Yeah, but once you get in.
But once you get into so there's 2 rooms. The first room is a big room, so you can stand up, you can look around. There's all kinds of cool stuff and everything. But then you have to climb again to get into the bigger room. The bigger room is insane, and in one corner, it's got a pool of water with a single stalagmite coming out of the middle of it. So it's just like, holy shit! Like it's like an altar. It's like a sword coming out of the fucking lake or something. It is so beautiful and so trippy, and like as they're shining the light around, everything is just glistening and sparkling because of all of the minerals and the quartz and crystals that are forming and everything. I had no idea. Like the closest caves that I thought that you really could to go, would be definitely outside of Nashville. I've been like to Mammoth Caves and stuff like that. But I know of other caves that are around. You hear like the Bell Witch Cave, but that's like a pocket. It's not even really a cave. Right. But like these were caves, and like the one that you can like, the one that's by the Quicksack. Yeah. So accessible, and no one knows where it's there. You can see where all the bums before that are living under the bridge and shit. Yeah. And there's little by the false cave, they have like all the trash and everything. And so but they don't go down to where the actual cave is. And you can tell like there are some people that knew where it is because you can tell they were partied there. There's some spray paint and everything there. But then once you get like down into it, where I imagine people are afraid to go at some point.
Yeah, you can go all the way back to the scene of your murder.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things I was scared. Like they found a dead dog that was like someone's like dead Pomeranian got lost down in there and just decided oh fuck it, I'm just gonna die right here. Yeah, but like it was insane that these things exist.
Yeah. Wow, in Antioch, that's what I'm surprised about. Because you got to travel to Kentucky or outskirts of Nashville.
The one in 24 they would have never found if they weren't blowing the rock, clearing rock in order to make 24. So it's during 24's construction, and they blew this big pocket and looked in, and they're like, holy shit, look at this.
Well, now you've got ground penetrating radar technologies that didn't exist before as well, so you can get all sorts of things underneath of there. I imagine that and you have self-sustaining ecosystem possibilities when you talk about thermal heat that's coming up through there as well. Yeah. So who knows? Who knows what's down there? Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I've been living here most of my life and never heard about that.
I've been here since 1980, and I've never when I heard about it, and especially like Antioch is where I used to party as a kid. I mean, if there was like a cool place to party, we were going there. If someone was like, hey, there's this cave called Hammond Cave, and you should see this motherfucker, we would have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, I used to go to Cloud 9. You ever go to Cloud 9? It was right there on Haywood Lane, and what's that? Yeah, I think it's whatever street Sam's is on. Antioch. So right down that way.
And I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It used to be a club there. So
right there
for it to be so close to that, and I used to be there every weekend. So
that was ghetto as hell.
I was there every weekend.
So what was like on the inside? Because it was like shady. It was like super shady.
I was there every weekend.
I was there every weekend.
Every weekend, dude.
Having a good time.
Hell yeah.
Did you eat there or just drink?
No, I drank a lot. A lot.
Were the drinks cheap?
Yeah, they were reasonable, and then plus you sneak shit in. You know how it goes. So yeah, I had fun.
I don't think Nick knows how it goes.
Could you smoke in there?
Of course, there's always a back door you can go smoke out of. So yeah, it was crazy.
I bet it was like, was the room like dark? What was
it was
like?
Yeah.
Did you ever go into this place?
So when you go by it, the windows are all blacked out, right? Yeah, the windows are all blacked out. And then I think it's even written like in fluorescent writing, Cloud 9 on the outside, right? Yeah, so it's like, when you look by, it's like, horrible things go on in there.
Oh, yeah.
He goes,
He went there every weekend.
I was there every weekend. I've called some of the horrible shit that went on.
Who knew, dude? You could have just gone to a cave after.
I know it. I could. Okay, so here's what's funny. After that closed down, I did go to a bar that was in Hermitage. And so I lived in Antioch, so I'll go straight down Bell Road to Hermitage. So, but on the way, there's a park out there. It's not Anderson, but I don't know. There's a park out there. So we used to go skinny dipping after the club would close down, coming back to go to Antioch.
All right. Oh, like off Elm Hill, maybe at the lake or something?
Yeah, well, yeah, not Elm Hill, but yeah, close to that. You know where Cove is? It's the very next one.
That one.
So yeah, we used to party our asses off, get drunk as shit, and then hit the lake.
Party on the,
and then the cars were far enough away from the lake that everything was dark, just moonlight. Get butt naked and just jump in the water, drink some more. And then like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, all right, let's put the clothes on and go home. That was every weekend.
Buy the fucking sailboats, dude.
It was awesome. I've done some good partying in my days. Still can't believe I'm alive.
Lake party
have you
is
hit
a big
50 yet?
thing over there.
51.
Okay. So
51 this past Saturday.
All right. Well, happy birthday. Oh, I sent you.
Yeah.
I
Thank
can't remember if you and I were the same age. So I hit 51 in February.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a mile. Well, it was a milestone to hit 50.
50,
just like,
yeah.
Yeah. So now it's just like any day we're ready to die. It's just like,
You have no idea. I would be surprised if I make 70. There's no way I'm making 70.
so
I'm gonna get hit by a bus.
my family notoriously has like bad genetics. Like the males in my family like die early. When I did the Ancestry.com and put my things in, the very first thing Ancestry fucking sent me was this pop-up that said, "Holy fuck, people, you men in your family die at an early age." Like it literally like just sent me. It's like, you need to do something. You're going to die. And I think I was about 45 at that time too. So I was like at that age of my first heart attack. Have you had a heart attack yet?
No.
Oh yeah, get ready for
It's
that
coming
shit. Oh
now.
yeah, it's good. So yeah,
I get heartburn. I say, "Oh, here it is."
but my mother. So I look like her. I share a lot of like I think I have her genetics and everything. So she's still alive and kicking, and like nothing's wrong. Like she's in her 70s, and like you couldn't tell that she's in her 70s. So if I have her genetics, I'm hoping I can make it another 10 years. But then when you're like you say it out loud, you're like, that's not too far away.
I know it.
That's like
I know
tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
I know it. Yeah, all the females in my family live to be like late 90s, mid to late 90s.
shit.
So I'm like, but I drink a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to cut back.
Yeah.
Because, I have a grandfather that passed away. He was an alcoholic. I had a couple of uncles that passed away. So I'm like, dude, yeah, it ain't gonna make it to 70.
This side of the table will mourn your guys' absence.
Yeah, can carry this on.
I mean, a good amount of my family is like still alive in their 80s. You know?
I don't have any.
But men or women?
Both.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, on my side, it's just me and my brother. That's
Yeah,
it. No
yeah.
other men exist in my family other than the humans that my brother has produced.
Yeah.
And he has produced so many. He's got like 20-something kids.
Shut up.
Dude, like there was a point where like we were like the age of the internet, like the early 2000s, like we started like people were like hunting him down, and like he was like he'd come over to my house and everything and be like, "Oh, another one found me." I was like, "What are you talking about? Another kid? I've got two." There's one time that these two kids showed up to the house, and so there was the boy and a girl. The girl was a spitting image of my brother, right? Spitting image. And the boy, not so much. Like, the boy definitely looked like he was from a different bloodline. But, like, he wanted to have his dad and everything, and then the blood test come back, and, of course, the boy wasn't, but the girl was. And he was, like, so heartbroken, and he wanted to be part of the family. And I'm not here to be anyone's uncle. I'm not down like that. Like, you know, yeah, it's just like, you know, I got enough problems as it is, you know?
I hear you.
Adopt any more kids.
Who's taking blood tests because they want to break into the muffin test?
Yeah, right, exactly. Not so prestigious.
We're moving on up.
Well, no, actually, at that time, I had my shit together. I had a house.
All this could be yours.
Yeah. Now, not so much.
Rev, you think you might be my dad?
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
So, I do believe that I have one illegitimate kid out there, a male.
A male.
And, well, I'm dense. So, like, when I was working at Kmart in my late 20s, I wound up running into somebody, but I thought she was somebody else. Long story short, she's showing me these pictures on her phone of, or not her phone. I guess her phone. So I guess I was a little bit older than that. So anyway, she's showing me these fucking pictures of this kid, and I was like, oh, it's your kid, you know, you had it with, you know, your so-and-so, you know, like, I think his name was Ray or something like that. I was like, yeah, and it's kind of hesitant and everything, and so, like, I'm like, all right, well, you know, see you around and everything, and so, like, a couple hours later, I'm, like, at work, and I'm doing shit, and then all of a sudden, my mind pulls up two photos. One photo of that kid there was a kid sitting on the Easter Bunny, and then a photo of me at the same age sitting on the Easter Bunny, and did this, and I was like,
oh no.
whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, there's a reason why she was showing me those pictures, right? And so, like, I tried to contact her, and I wasn't able to contact her and everything, and still hadn't and everything. And then, so then I'm working at AutoZone one day, and this kid walks in, and he's just smiling. He walks up to me, and he's just smiling, and he's just standing there. I'm like, "What's up, bud? You need some help?" And he's like, "Nah." And he's just standing there and everything. I was like, "All right, bud. Well, if you need some help, just let me know, you know." And then so he just kind of walks to the door and everything, and then he kind of turns around and he's looking at me and he's just smiling. And I was like, "Are you all right?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, I'm all right." And then he walks up to me again and he's just smiling. I was just like, "Am I?" I was like, I'm not. Yeah. And so as he's leaving and everything, you know, it dawns on me. I was like, "Is this kid?"
How long ago was this?
So like. It was 90. When did Nirvana's Unplugged come out?
97, maybe.
No,
Don't ask the black guy.
It was 94. Okay, it was like 94.
So it was whenever Nirvana's Unplugged album came out.
Yeah.
I wound up hooking up with this chick that I worked with behind what is now the 404. At the time, it was called the Elysian Inn.
Yeah.
And I went out there with the chick, and they had what's that, horseshoes. So they were out there drunk playing horseshoes, and next thing you know, yeah. And so like. I'm raw dogging it, and so I usually use a condom and raw dogging it, and I'm very drunk, and like I start to like feel like I'm about to nut, and I'm just like, I don't want to pull out necessarily, and then like before I knew it, I had
let go.
Yeah, so it was just, and then yeah, so it was, then we all wound up getting laid off that Christmas, but she was the only one that retained her job, which we all kind of thought was kind of weird, you know, and then. Yeah, come to find out, you know, I think that I may have a son out there somewhere.
Yeah, either that or that somebody was on mushrooms at AutoZone. Fucked you up for 20 years.
That's even funnier. Get high and go to the auto store.
And Rev's been like reminiscing about this guy for 20 years.
Son? It's like, I'm just high, man. That's great.
I hope I see him again one day.
He put this whole story, his whole background to the pinpoint when it happened. And he's like, "Yep, that's it."
This kid with this honors
Well, the only reason
Somebody thought he was in Taco Bell. Walking back to the counter. This is a goddamn AutoZone.
The only reason why I thought, because he would have been about that age.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It took me. I was in a bad place. Help.
At this point, had you taken mushrooms before?
Shortly after I took mushrooms, but I wound up quitting that job and divorcing my wife and doing stupid shit like podcasting.
Now we're all here.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Actually, you know, I don't regret it because I've had so much fun since 2019.
Yeah.
That's when we started this. I think. When did you? October of 2019.
Dude, it's all a mystery. Mystery. It's all foggy.
So Monty's appearance was so great. Like he didn't know us from Adam, and we got him from Craigslist.
Yeah.
If there's a Coke in there, brother, I'd like to have a Coke. And we get a text from him. He's like, you know, I'm here. And so we're in the back, so we come up around the front of the house, and he's knocking at the front of the door. And the look on Monty's face, you know, me and this half Mexican come up around.
Okay, I answer an ad in Craigslist, and then I got the addresses in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Bumfuck Egypt.
And these two guys come out, beat her up, white guys, and I'm like, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. I'm in trouble.
But they were cool as a fan, and then we all got high and drunk as shit.
Monty threw down. Like, he threw down like he knew us for 30 years.
Yeah. That's the one time that Craigslist story has ever ended well. Like, there are 19 other Montys that are dead in some white dude's basement. Like,
I mean, it technically didn't end well for Monty.
we're here now.
Listening to our story.
And then, you know, you get high, you get drunk, and I have to drive back to Nashville, drive right past a police station every single time, every Friday. I'm like, I can't keep doing this.
Dude, I had to drive by 3 police stations. Not mentioning the cop that waits on that fucking exit at Lebanon.
Yeah.
So that's the motherfucker. It's just like I'm always looking to see where that motherfucker is because he's always there, and I always don't see him till right after I've done something stupid. I didn't use my turn signal or something. Usually got a bag of weed on me because I usually bought my weed from him. Oh, going on, dude. I've gone home drunk so many times that
And focus. I'm like eyes are wide.
Yeah, and
focus.
nothing works. You can put the fucking radio
on, AC
windows
blowing,
down.
it's
Yeah,
like, there's
nothing.
no.
No, the only thing you do is just pull over and go to sleep, and you don't want to do that because you will get popped. Dude, yeah, it's like I'm glad I don't have to drive anyway. That's the one good thing about doing the show here is I've got the home base advantage. But that's like the only. Driving to Lebanon before the show day, I had my own routine, and I look forward to that so much. I look forward to the show, but there was something about getting off of work, going by the espresso stand and getting a fucking double latte, and then fucking hitting the interstate, hit 40 to Lebanon, drinking that fucking latte and smoking a joint, and heading out there and just getting my fucking headspace right.
Yeah.
That drive, I look forward to that drive because it was just a way to decompress, relax, and by the time I got to the show, I was ready to do the show. Let's do some drinking, let's hang out, let's laugh. It's time for therapy.
Heck yeah.
That's why I say it is. It's good therapy just to talk. Because like I said,
to laugh, to smile,
laugh, talk, smile, have a good time.
People don't do this anymore. People used to do this at one time, and now we only do this when we podcast.
Yeah.
But at one time, people used to get together at somebody's house on a Friday night and hit a bottle of fucking whiskey and fucking share a fucking joint and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just lie off their asses.
Yeah, talk shit.
Say crazy
Talk
things.
shit.
And nobody could get on the internet and prove my lies.
That's right.
That's awesome.
It's a good time to do it. I'm glad you guys came out
Heck
and
yeah, man.
and did it on the fly too. When we had people cancel.
There you go.
It works,
Are you shutting us down? What time is it?
No, I'm not shutting us.
That sounded like
That did sound like a shutdown.
That's a natural podcast. I admire Nick as he's progressing as like a podcast personality, and you've got the wind down thing. The misogyny up top is still problematic, but your wind downs exceptional because they're subtle. They're subtle, and you got us all in the mood to start winding down.
I'm gonna take a nap now.
Take a little
That's
bit
hilarious.
Take a little bit of a snooze. I don't know. I've smoked enough weed to I'm sleepy. I gotta take a nap.
Sleepy Nick.
Sleepy Nick.
I was researching an IT issue the other day, and there was a registry key I had to modify because there was a Sleepy Nick problem. And that's what they call it. It's a Sleepy Nick. And I'm like, oh, that's Nick. Sleepy Nick.
That is me.
I sent him a link and everything. Sleepy Nick.
That's great. So I bought a 360 photo booth.
Okay, what's the 360 photo booth?
It's basically a platform, and you stand on it, and there's an arm that goes around and you record it.
Oh, yeah.
And I brought it out for my birthday.
Very silly.
I brought it out for my birthday. Yes, you're right.
But you showed me.
Women love it.
Funny.
Yeah, women love it. So that's all we sat there and did all Saturday night was get on that photo booth. Yeah, half.
You want to have?
That's
Yeah.
fun.
360 photo booth.
It's all- I mean-
like a full image thing.
Yep. It's like you're getting a 3D scan of you, man.
I saw Ronzo for Stone Deep doing that.
Oh, yeah? Yeah?
Have you met Ronzo yet?
I don't think so.
Man, he's a great motherfucker. Do you remember the band The Hardcores back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
That's him.
Okay.
This was the 360 camera.
Is it my video or no?
Your video.
Yeah.
So I think when it got to my ass, it would create a problem because it's a void back there.
Yeah, I didn't know it looked ugly from all sides, so I was like, yeah.
Wow.
It goes one way, it goes the other way. It can speed up, it can slow down.
Yeah.
So I did.
I'm not trying to break the space-time continuum with my lack of ass. That's all I'm saying. I don't need a camera back there.
Yeah, okay,
Monty
so
looks great.
I have to once we turn the show off, I have to show you more videos I did over the weekend. It's hilarious. No, yeah.
We got some not safe for work options coming up next.
There we go.
But yeah, women love it. They jumped on it and they was just having a blast with it. So it's cool. I got it dirt cheap, so I was like, well, might as well see if I can do something fun with it.
Now, these women, were they topless?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't,
I'm
not
getting-
the first time with new.
I'm getting them
Yeah.
there. So there you go. And okay, I thought about so much stuff you could do with it. I would love to do a comedy show with it.
Oh yeah.
Put it on stage, get a cordless mic, and just start doing jokes and see it go around. That'd be hilarious. Don't act like the camera's there. Just talk to the audience.
So is it a ring? Or are you stepping
You
into
stand on a round stage, 45 degrees across, and 45 inches across, and it's plenty enough room for one person. I've had 3 people on it. So you just stand there, and it's an arm that's up underneath on a gear, and it just goes around you. That's all it does.
So the camera spins around.
It's actually my phone. I put my phone on a ring light and let that go around you. So it's lights from all sides.
Oh shit, we get a train set and a ring light. We're gonna figure this shit out.
TikTok,
I can
dude.
make this. I can make this at home. Let's go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right.
So retail is like $1,800,
Whoa.
but I got mine for
dude.
much cheaper.
Yeah, you give me your
Really?
kid's Christmas train set.
So-
I will make one of these sons of bitches for $35.99.
How
Let's
did
go.
you stumble upon it? Just a guy?
I got these bidding sites I keep going to. These bidding sites are like start off at $1 and they go up, and you just gotta catch them at the right time, and you can get stuff dirt
What
cheap.
bidding sites do you go to?
Okay, remember how eBay started? eBay was a bidding site. Then
Right.
Amazon took over and everything, pretty cheap. But anyway, it's just a bidding site. Everything starts at $1 and just goes up. Now, a lot of it is return Amazon stuff, because, the thing I got, it came in a case, and the case must have been dropped, so there's a dent in the case. But everything in the box works just fine. So, so I got it way cheaper than what it was.
So what is the application for the
Take it to parties and take it to social events, just to get people on it. Because everybody's putting everything on cameras and videos.
Yeah,
and
dude. It's like a
Instagram.
narcissism.
That's true. Why
like,
not just have it?
set piece.
Everybody has
It's like
selfie and ring cams. It's like, come on, what else can you do with
you can have it up there for birthday parties.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's unique, but it's going to be a fad. It's probably going to be gone in, I don't know, several months, but I got it. Might as well use it.
Let's take this shit
Right.
to Broadway. Let's go.
I thought about that, but you have so many people running into it, bumping into it, smacking
Dude,
it. So, yeah.
Broadway could be so packed, dude.
Yeah, but to get like somebody to pay $10, hey, get on that for every bit of 4 minutes.
sure, yeah.
And do whatever you want to the video.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna get some naked people.
Bring it to the swingers parties.
Think of it to be useful.
Yeah, somebody's gonna be flashing on there at some point. Alcohol's gonna be
Yeah,
involved,
has to.
and it's like, yeah, somebody's gonna flash. I'm like, all right, 360 boobs.
360.
Hilarious. It's
I
like,
take one boob and a box of popcorn or something. So I mean,
I love it. I love it.
A box of popcorn. Medium.
The name of this
large.
podcast episode is 360 Boobs.
60 boobs
Or
and
just boob.
popcorn.
I did a post the other day. It's like, what other food comes in a bucket? It's chicken and popcorn. There's
There's
no other food comes in a bucket.
Hey, don't get.
Yeah, start thinking, man.
Yeah, I can't think of a lot of good bucket foods, man.
It's just chicken and popcorn.
Nah,
Good,
man.
but good fried food,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a nice crab boil, but that's not a bucket. Now we're
Not that bad.
Now we're getting to
Every once in a
semantics.
while, you can go to a restaurant and get a little small can of French fries.
right. They're putting sweet
Yeah.
potato fries
There
in
you
a
go.
little bucket, like
But not a true big bucket.
no, they
Not a real
Popcorn and
bucket.
chicken.
popcorn and chicken, and then you need
And if you're lucky, popcorn chicken. No, I'm just
popcorn
kidding.
chicken.
Popcorn chicken.
Shit.
Some barbecue sauce, dude.
Got a party.
There's somebody gonna start that. You gotta think of what other food can you put in a bucket. A bucket of tacos? No, they wouldn't work.
But no,
Right, so you got
lasagna, no.
A bucket of nachos, on the other hand, makes a little more sense.
It would have to be a shallow bucket. Who eats a whole bucket of nachos?
Oh, dude, when I was 20,
Besides this guy.
Oh, dude, I feel like I would crush that right now.
Dude, if they had gas station bucket nachos, I would fuck one of those up on the way home today.
That's funny.
I mean, five gallons of gas station nachos. And
Oh my God.
and my anxiety and depression. We're having a party tonight.
And then you would stick your dick through the bottom of the bucket.
Oh yeah.
Come
And
get
then the
some
woman that
nachos.
ain't there is gonna get her hand in the bottom of that
Guacamole.
You said a nacho?
No, she left a gallon 2.5.
But it sure is cheesy. Oh, I'm sorry. Took that in a weird direction.
It needs to go there, you know.
Hilarious. Yeah, I'm high.
Would you like a shot?
Very high.
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Nick is like a
I'm just trying to make sure Rev has a friend to drink with.
How sweet.
Because I
This is a
can't.
Make-A-Wish. I just want people to drink with me.
Oh, he needs friends.
Just prop me up in the corner, put a shawl around me.
I know a lot of dudes who needed friends, but to set up a whole goddamn podcast network, that is ambitious.
Man, that is. Man.
You're building careers,
That's what we do.
trying to make friends.
That's what we do.
Oh, Lord.
I think it's been a fun show so far.
Of course.
I think so too.
I've been binge watching Shorzy. That has been fun.
Oh, yeah?
The
Oh,
newest
is that
season of that show.
Is that the hockey show?
Yes, it's a hockey show. It's about adult league hockey,
Oh, yeah?
like a full adult league in Ontario.
Where are you from? Are you from up north?
I'm from here,
Really?
but that's this is what the TV show is about.
Yeah.
I think.
Very, very funny.
I think his old man had frozen nuts or something. He's got hockey in his blood from somewhere.
My dad played a little hockey until he lost a couple of teeth. He was like, all right, I'm cutting this out.
I didn't really play like proper hockey. I played like with my brother, like one-on-one
Yeah.
on the street, so like rollerblades. We had one net on the side of the cul-de-sac. That's all we did.
So, yeah, the first time I went ice skating, Centennial Park, some guy busted his face right on the ice. This is back before you had your cell phone. So
Yeah.
I had a digital camera, man. I was like right there in it, just snapping pictures.
Snapping pics.
Somebody thought I was rude. I'm like, I'm not being rude. Okay, first of all, he's already being helped. So he doesn't need like extra help. I'll be in the way. I'm just a news reporter.
Documenting the
Just taking pictures. I mean,
It was awesome.
I
There was a
grew
lot
up
of blood,
here.
too.
I grew up here, so like, I grew up, I was born in '93, so like, here, so like, I was around when the
think Nick is my
Predators
star.
started, so I was just.
I
And that could actually be the case. Yeah.
He went into an AutoZone one time. Nick was trying to buy brake pads, but this motherfucker kept just staring at him. Like, is he gonna ask me if I need help? What's happening right
Is it the
now?
AutoZone on Murfreesboro Road?
That's
I
great.
did work there at one time, but no.
I have stopped in at that one a lot.
So
that.
there's one, not the one by you by Nashboro Village, but the one on down by closer to the police station. That area right there is buck fucking wild. I have never ducked so many times from actual shootings that I have there. I have never ducked from actual shootings, but I have ducked from. There was one time we all ran into the store, and I had to lock the door, and everyone ran to the back because two people were firing at each other in the middle of Murfreesboro Road.
Really?
The bums used to set the bridge on fire. The woods underneath the bridge, they would be under there and then it'd be cold. And all of a sudden, like, you would walk out there and there's like 50-foot flames going up into the air like a tornado. And then all of a sudden, like, the fucking fire department would be called and they would have the whole woods set on fire.
Shit.
Last year, before Crash and I split up, it was the middle of the winter and it was snowing outside a little bit, and we were on Murfreesboro Road and we were right there before 40, I think it is, to get on the on-ramp. And there was an encampment of homeless people there on the left-hand side, and it was on fire. And we had the windows rolled down, and you can hear people screaming inside where they had went to sleep.
They on fire?
The camp caught on fire. There was people like had pulled out trying to they couldn't get to them. The whole place was in raging fire. You could hear the people screaming. Crash is like, is that people dying? And I'm just like,
Turn the air conditioner on, recirculate. I'm not having dead people smoke up in my car.
yeah. So like Murfreesboro Road is like the worst place, especially that Taco Bell that's right there. That Taco Bell, if you want to get shot, that is the best place to go to get shot, because you will get shot or mugged, something. I mean, it's just like I saw so much shit go down at that fucking Taco Bell. It is ridiculous.
Wow.
That's funny. I remember the Drake Motel.
Yeah.
Man,
Still around.
The first time I was in there, somebody had a swinger party in there, and I went there and I was like, nah, this is not the right address. It was the right address. So I was like, then second time, I was at the Drake Motel. You know, I'm buying, used computer parts. So as I was buying used computer parts, somebody was in that exact same room in that whatever swinger party was. So I'm like, this is hilarious.
Yeah,
Does it still smell the same?
I was there to take pictures of women in hot tubs. That was my job.
Yeah.
So I had fun doing that.
Somehow the computer parts thing, that deal sounds shadier than the swinger party.
Exactly. That's what I said.
Okay.
I'm like, there's no way I'm buying a computer part from this place.
Yeah, that's...
I said, no, I'm good.
Tony Montana's in the bathroom getting chopped up with a chainsaw. This ain't the place. You can keep your Dells.
That was my 2 experiences at the Drake Motel.
So I've never actually been in the Drake Hotel. So is it everything that you thought it would be and more?
No.
Okay.
No.
I know Robin Williams filmed a movie there.
It's been a few movies.
It was like his last movie he filmed was at the Drake Motel.
Really?
Yeah, movie called Boulevard.
Now I gotta go watch that.
Came out in like 2013, I think. 2012, something like that.
To Robin Williams. Did you get a shot?
Robin.
I got that.
Robin Williams.
Dude.
Yeah.
Imagine. I saw his birthday come up across my phone recently. Made me think of that.
You still alive?
Well.
Do y'all share a birthday with any famous celebrities?
I don't think so.
I was born the day Bruce Lee died.
Oh, no shit.
So are you Bruce Lee reincarnated?
He died, and 2 hours later, I'm here. But that's true, though. That's the only birthday. The birthday.
Let's look it up. But we won't say what the date is, but look it up, see who died, or who
Anything that happened on your birthday.
All right.
just type in your
The
birthday
day.
and celebrity.
Because I know Madonna was born on the same day, and Elvis died a day after.
I remember when Elvis died.
Oh, here's another one. This is before I was born, though. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin was the first people to walk on the moon on the exact birthday of mine.
All right.
Okay. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. In 1944, Adolf Hitler was wounded in an assassination attempt.
Were you born in 1944?
But it happened on July 20th.
No. Put it in the year.
The
that
year?
You're born. Yeah, put it in the year that you're born.
Man, if I had the year, nothing.
Yeah, the
but,
year, nothing happens.
but tragedies on the day I was born.
So, like on the day that I was born, Lasuba would be acquitted, and Bemba, who accompanied in a coup, was given a suspended sentence. Other members convicted of being members of the group M22 would be executed at the National Stadium in Brazzaville, and their bodies would be put on display.
Wow.
So, I think also the Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in '73. So basically, I share a birthday with Jack Chase, who's an American artist, Lars Olof, who is a Swedish musician, and Robert Pipkins, who is an American luge racer. Whatever a fucking luge is.
Interesting.
The English musician Franz Ferdinand was born on my. I want a new goddamn birthday.
That's funny. Yeah, Bruce Lee is basically the only thing that happened on my birthday.
Oh, that sucks. Nick, what about you?
Nothing.
For me, it's when Magellan set sail from Spain.
And we're in the 1600s.
You look good for your age.
Yeah, man. Holding it together.
Honestly, nothing really happened on my.
You're gonna have to
birthday.
make your birth the most exceptional thing. That
Don't
happened.
Ask, Don't Tell is repealed. That's
Really?
one, but that's like a current,
They
a
knew
more
you were
current
coming.
thing. You know, that's a much more.
They looked at you like, yeah, we
All right, we're gonna have to-
The first Cannes or Cannes Film Festival.
Okay. Was that the year that you were born?
No, I was 46. Not.
Oh.
I don't think it ain't.
93, Captain Ron came out. What else? I got my first hand job from my cousin that year. That was good.
The thing it says is an earthquake in Oregon.
All right.
There's also famous deaths. A German World War II pilot.
I figured they'd have more pilots die in World War II.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think.
That's sad, man. What- We gotta make some exceptional shit for Nick. Next time you see Nick on his birthday, let's do something fun. All right, let's get some shit on the calendar.
That's funny.
Make his birthday month like a 23-year-old woman in East Nashville or something, man.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
celebrate. Let's
I would love that.
That's hilarious.
make it special.
I want someone to lick cupcakes off my titties.
Wow.
Well, that's very specific. Nick. So just the frosting or like actual cupcake?
The whole
We'll
cup-
do the frosting.
Okay.
Yeah, cupcakes. Then you got a whole
I had that
cake
for
to
my-
contend with, and
I had that for my birthday sort of once. Somebody had a cupcake and they cut a hole in it and they ate the cupcake off my dick. So I was like, yeah, this is a good birthday.
man.
Do that with a bagel.
Several.
You could also you do chocolate sauce. That's an easy one.
I don't like sticky, like honey, chocolate sauce. Now you want to climb on top of me? We're gonna be glued together.
That's
Glued.
too much work.
I don't mind it. It's fun.
You have coffee zins.
Yes.
Are they caffeinated?
Do you
as
have
well?
any good
I
birthday
don't know if they're
memories?
caffeinated.
That would be
Oh, dude, tons of good birthday memories. Like when I was a kid going to fucking Chuck E. Cheese. That ripped.
So I remember the first year Chuck E. Cheese came out.
No. When it was before Showbiz or after Showbiz?
Before Showbiz.
Before
But also I remember when Showbiz came out. And I actually I liked Showbiz better than Chuck E.
Yeah, they had a
Cheese.
better band.
Well,
They had a black dude up front instead of a purple guy. They're gonna have a better band.
they did have it better animatronics.
Yeah.
Was Showbiz a competitor to Chuck E. Cheese?
It was like they were.
Yeah.
They
family.
were, but they were bought at Chuck E. Cheese bought Showbiz. So like my daughter had like a 7th birthday or something like that, and she had it at this place that was used to be a Kmart, and they made it into like a family fun center. So they had like bowling and laser tag and fucking bumper cars.
Yeah.
They also had the Showbiz Pizza band there, so it was really a trip and everything. So I was like, all right. But they also had a bar, so I wound up getting like shit-faced drunk, and I'm taking all these fucking pictures with the fucking Showbiz fucking animals. I can. I'm an adult now. I can do what the fuck I want, you know. So I'm drunk drunk as fuck, and then I get in this. You know those video games that you get in and like you're driving a car, but it flips you around different directions and shit.
Afterburner.
Well, it wasn't after.
Well, it's that same concept.
Same concept.
Yeah.
So I get in with my nephew who was like 13 years old, but he was 7 foot tall, 300 pounds, and like no one told us like when we were getting in that there was an weight barrier or something like that, and we're like both huge motherfuckers, so we're in there and I'm drunk as hell. At this point I'm probably about 7 beers in. It's a children's birthday party. I had no business being there. I just got through fucking mauling kids and laser tag.
You got to see your favorite childhood band play.
Yeah, exactly. We get in this fucking game and it starts like throwing us around and everything, and there's a point where it throws us up and locks in like the weight of me and my nephew, and so we're upside down and like we're in a box and it's hot and I'm drunk and there's no air but except for these like there's a tube on one side here and a tube on one side here, and like I'm trying to get into where the tube of air is blowing just a little bit on this side of my face and I'm dying. We're sweating and we're yelling, and the video game is loud, and when I mean loud I mean super loud, to the point where we're screaming like we're dying, and it takes about 15 minutes before I think someone realizes that we're in there. The very first fucking voice that I hear is not my wife's, but my first wife's, and I hear her screaming, "My ex-husband is in there! Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Where's my wife? Where's the bitch I am married to?" So me and my nephew, and then we could hear people like rocking it, and then we could feel them rocking it, and we're at this point I've been upside down for about 25 minutes with. Dude, it's like my nephew's been crying the whole time. I think he pissed himself, and the whole time. And then we could finally they jarred to the point where we swing down, and as we swing down, that force of just like time, space, movement, I vomit all over. I puke all over me and my nephew, and then so they finally open the cab to this fucking thing, and we're in there. We're covered in sweat, vomit everywhere. Oh my God. Dude.
Your wife's
happy birthday.
This is all at your 7-year-old's birthday party. And your wife's somewhere else, like throwing her bra at the Chuck E. Cheese pan.
I don't know what happened to her. She was out.
She disappeared.
I'm listening to my first wife, and she's like screaming bloody murder, and her husband's looking at me. It's like, "Look, man, you gotta control your cunt. I don't know what the
She's doing lines with the bass player from Showbiz Pizza.
Oh my God.
It was, man, I have to say, like, if you let adults run rampant at that place, dude, we bowled. You ever drunk bowl before?
I don't think there's any other way to.
There you go.
But it was like, it doesn't exist anymore. Like, there was one point that I was driving by and I saw that they turned it into something else, but like, it gave me like the memory of that. It's like, that was like the perfect place. Like, there was alcohol and laser tag and
Go-karts when you get alcohol.
Bumper cars.
Oh,
Bumper cars. Yeah. Oh my God, playing bumper cars with a bunch of kids. Just, that's just an adult just destroying lives.
They're sitting there spinning. You're like hitting them all the time.
Fucking playing laser tag with those poor bastards, man, was the most fun I ever had in my fucking life.
Oh, that's great. I had a water gun fight when Super Soakers first came out.
Yeah.
And my thing is, we couldn't afford that many guns for all my cousins. So I had one, and a cousin had one. But this was back in the Rambo days, because everybody had to have 2 guns.
Yeah.
So I had a Windex bottle, and this is when you could turn the nozzle, and it would shoot. One way it was, it's a spray. The other way, it's a stream. Yeah. So we would shoot somebody in the eye and just soak
with
it down.
Windex?
No, it was water. But we had Super Soaker and a Windex bottle, and just
we would pistol and a rifle.
And everybody else had to do the little handheld.
That year that Super Soaker came out, man, that revolutionized the water gun game forever, dude. Like that Super Soaker 75, that yellow and green thing.
Yeah.
But you always had people pissing in them. Or putting
something in them.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
Alcohol was a lot. That was a big thing. They've got those. I think they're called gel blasters now, where they have these gel like bullets, but you could put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah.
It's like a pellet gun, but it's like gel balls.
Yeah. If you watch Kill Tony, I think Kill Tony has one sitting on front of his desk.
Yeah.
And I guess he has one that's special for him or whatever. But like the company that I work for brought in truckloads of them, and they're big sellers. 'Cause, like I see them going out the fucking door. I'm not exactly sure what the appeal is. It's just another fucking pistol, but apparently you could put the gel things in the freezer and then
shot your brother.
Yeah.
With it, dude.
Oh,
That's
dude.
all
Have you
the
ever
time.
shot a sibling with a pellet gun or
I
anything?
got
like that?
shot with a pellet gun right between the eyes. Right between the
brother
eyes.
and
Okay.
I had airsoft.
Airsoft, the CO2 airsoft guns.
Ours were battery powered.
Okay, the CO2 ones, they didn't fuck around. We used to have parties when my brother lived with me when he was like 18 and I was like 23, and we'd have parties at this house, and this guy named John Rambo would come over and he would always bring the latest airsoft. His name was John Rambo, and he always had. No, I'm not making that up. His name, I swear to God, was John Rambo, and he always had the latest airsoft shit. And me and my brother were such dipshits that we were like, yeah, I want to get shot with that thing. So we would like hold our arms out and shit, and then they would just light us up with them, and then you'd bleed and everything. That was wild, dude. Wild. We had naked lesbian wrestling matches while we were playing Dungeons and Dragons. My 20s were different than yours.
Yeah.
They were.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different.
My brother and I would like dress up in like military stuff, you know, like with our
At what
airsoft
age?
guns.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
we were like teenagers. Like I was probably like 13, 14, and my brother was 15, 16.
So you had like
Well,
the camouflage and
Yeah, dude, ghillie suit.
Oh, yeah,
I had
dude.
a ghillie suit that I would run around in.
That'd be
the big thing when I was a kid was ninjas. So you had to have the ninja outfit with the tabby boots
With
and
the
the
little
stars
toes.
with the toe. Yeah. And then like everybody had mail order was a big thing back then in the 80s. So everybody had you probably remember the combat knives with that had the hollow handle with all the different like
matches and
survival
shit.
matches and shit. The razor
compass with
wire.
holes on the end.
Yeah. They had that one wire that you could like cut someone's head off.
Yeah. Although the knife was dull as fuck, dude.
Yeah, always. Well, they gave you the stone
Yeah,
in
you
order
could sharpen
to
that shit,
sharpen.
right.
It never
No,
worked.
dude.
It never worked.
You'd had better luck sharpening a chunk of steel than this fucking Rambo knife.
Yeah, those things were so horrible. But all kids were running around in ninja costumes. You see, everybody either was like the white ninja or the black ninja, depending on whose side you were when you watched. Was it Enter the Ninja? Do y'all remember Enter the Ninja? Yeah.
Every Saturday morning you watch cartoons.
And ninja
And
movies.
then
ninja
they had the
Kung Fu theater.
Kung Fu.
theater, man. Yes. And that fat green dude or whatever that was in the title sequence, I don't remember, but those were some good ass movies. Like, oh shit! Like I'm trying to think of the Five Deadly Venoms, just stuff like that.
Oh yeah. All of Jackie Chan's first movies were there.
Oh yeah.
So good times.
Yeah,
Good times.
I had a babysitter, and she would force us to watch Kung Fu, the actual show Kung
the
Fu,
show?
yeah.
with what's his face,
David
Carradine,
yeah. And I couldn't stand it. I hated it. She loved the show so much that she would literally pile us off. Like if we spoke up during Kung Fu, like it'd be the end of it and everything. Like she was so like, don't fuck with me when Kung Fu is on, right? And we would watch the show, and I was like, oh my god, this is so bad, because all like the Kung Fu was in slow motion. So it was like this old white dude pretending to be Chinese, but yet he's doing like the most horrible Kung Fu ever, and I'd be like, this sucks. But you know, so and so is better. Yeah, you ever seen fucking Big Trouble in Little China? This sucks.
When you started that sentence with my babysitter used to make I had so many other things.
I was down in.
Oh man,
And then
that
it
was
took a left. I'm like,
we're watching
So
Pain. I thought we were getting balls deep in some babysitter, and we're watching Kane from Kung Fu, I would have been pissed too.
I have a thing for redheads because of a babysitter.
Oh, yeah.
So one of my first babysitters, I was like in 3rd grade, so pretty much a little old for like somebody to make me take a bath or whatever, but she would make me take a bath, and then she would come in, like she was like hot at this point, like, you know, I was already thinking about fucking the neighbor girl, you know, like I was young, but you know, so like then she would come in and she would like, you know, bathe me and shit like that, and like I got it like hard, like super fucking hard, and like, you know, she's like, oh, and laughed it off and everything, you know, and I think like that to the point that it didn't traumatize me, but to the point like her washing me at that age was kind of like, you know, kind of stuck it in my head. There's like redheads.
There might still be trauma, though. I'm just saying. And yeah, I mean, yeah, all of our porn categories are dictated by our traumas. Let's not get it twisted. But
are you guys into fucked up porn? Because porn now is fucked up.
no,
Oh yeah.
I've tried to eliminate that from my, because it's like you can feel it changing you vibrationally.
I still watch.
Yeah.
Like,
Just get all in there.
I mean, sometimes you have to, but like some of this stuff is just like, just craziness, and like the people that you meet wind up like being like they emulate that porn stuff, like being with, you know, someone who is like younger with me, and they're like, everyone emulates porn. Like I remember like we emulated porn when we were kids, you know, like every girl wanted to learn how to deep throat and stuff like that, and now like everything is on the menu now, like nothing is taboo anymore. It's like, oh, you want to fuck her in the ass, fuck her in the ass, you want to mouth fuck rape her, fucking mouth rape her, you know, just like everything is on the fucking table now. It's insane. It's like I'm not used to this. Like I don't want to feel like I'm abusing you when all I'm wanting to do is ejaculate.
My thing is, Betty Page don't get me wrong, she didn't start
The
it.
pinup Betty Page?
Yeah, she kind of got my mind curious about the whole BDSM thing, but now it was just she was almost the only one I knew of.
She was one of the first things.
Yeah. But now that category is so bizarre that everything you watch is just so sadistic, so crazy.
Everybody's in some kind of crazy now, and
that's the norm now. If you look at porn.
And that sucks because when you wind up like hooking up with someone and they're into that thing, and that's what it takes to get them off, and so then you've got to acclimate yourself to that. So then you got to make a decision like. When I was a kid, the first time I ever ran into this, I was like 20. It was '93 when I remember the Lollapalooza came through. Primus, Alice in Chains, fucking Arrested Development. It was a great fucking show, huge fucking lineup, and I wound up went to Turtles. Records and tapes, and bought my tickets there back when you can go to a record store and buy your tickets there. Yeah. And so the chick was like, oh, you're into all these cool bands and everything, who are you going to see? And I told her, and we wound up hitting it off and everything. So for like 2 weeks she would come over to my place and we would make out, and she would always be like, no. And 2 weeks, just every night, no, oh no. You know, it's like, So I'm talking to my buddy and everything, and I'm just like, man, I don't understand what's going on. She seems like really into me, but, you know, and he's like, no, man, she wants you to take it. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, no, dude, she wants you to take it. I'm like, no, man, I'm not into it. And then, like, you know, a couple of days later, you know, she's still telling me no. And so, like, finally I got fed up. He's like, dude, just take it. And so, like, I was like, well, this is going to go down 50-50. Either, either this is going to go horribly wrong or horribly well. And so, like, she said no. I called her bluff. Now, to me, no means no, and I've always been like that. In this case, no didn't mean no. So I just want everyone to know that, like, I did not, like, assault anybody. Yeah. So, but every time...
He just took some pussy. That's all.
Yeah. But every time that we got together it was the same thing. It was no, and then I had to take it. And then after like 2 weeks of that, like after the first week, I got used to it. So like every time she would come over, then I'm into it. I'm role playing. But like after 2 weeks of it, then I'm looking at other people and then thinking that same thing, and I'm like, oh. I'm going down a road. And so I broke it up with her, and she was upset with me because I told her why I broke it. And I can't do this because I don't want. Dude, because it was already coming out to the point where I would look at somebody and already thinking that, and I was just like, oh, I've got to step the fuck back from this. Yeah. So that type of thing does change you, and you have these young kids that are emulating what's going on in porn, and then
that's what they see.
and then that's what they get off on.
Yeah.
And so in order for you've got to bring that to the table in order for them to get off. And if you don't bring that to the table, then it's on to the next one. And you've got to be fucked up, just as fucked up as they are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy what some of the things I see online, man. I'm just like, wow.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, how are these people not in jail? It have to be a written consent form way up front.
Oh yeah.
There would have to be a waiver.
Still,
There would have to be a
They seem like
waiver.
they're pushing the limits, pushing boundaries. So it's like,
Some of the things when you don't know whether it's real or not, when you're walking
It's
into
such a
something
thin
and you're
line,
seeing
yeah.
something that winds up turning, fucking completely a different direction. I bail out because I don't want anyone to look at my history and see what the fuck I'm watching. Like, oh, he's into this? Because I'm not. Believe me, I am not. Look at my time. It's a 20-minute video. I lasted 2 minutes. I wasn't interested.
That was a good ass video. That's all. Don't let him trick you.
plot or nothing, get right to the
just-
action.
Right to the good parts.
That's great.
I got vasectomy dick, so I only get but one good nut a day, and I have to save it for my wife. Otherwise,
She knows.
well, or there's just nothing to.
Dust.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah. So you got to make it count.
In a vasectomy, you still have your balls?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I wish that they had shut the whole factory down.
They're up on his
Because
chin
it's
now.
like they just snipped the one wire that.
Oh, I mean, you have to. Do you ejaculate?
Yes, and
Okay.
it's like duh. That's like, why didn't you just shut that off? It's like useless. It was always useless. It created monsters, and it's like no. Now it's just it's extra useless, but it's still a mess. Like that's ridiculous. Like shut it down.
I love it.
Shut it down.
I never thought this podcast would turn into talking about his balls.
Yeah,
So that's awesome.
That's where
Ball talk.
it's ball talk. They're
Ball talk.
much older than they used to be. I can never get them to smell like factory fresh again.
my
That's
God.
never happening.
I don't have a problem with smell, but I'm always pulling my balls from my ass. like you're always like pulling your balls up from like
Trying to move into that asshole.
I mean, it's like the back of my balls are just like they're getting pulled in by my taint. Like the back of my balls, like the front of Charlie Sheen's neck.
It's like Manifest Destiny. Your asshole's trying to.
I'm on my
take over the-
forklift all day. I'm constantly taking my balls and putting them in my lap.
Oh my God! Just put them in your pocket next time.
Oh man. But no, they still do whatever they do. It's just disconnected.
They're
They
there.
disconnected the wire.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'd be a good thing or a bad thing. I have to say that, I think that people are supposed to wane to a point, not to dysfunction, but wane to a point where you're no longer in insanity. Because, when I went on, TRT, I want to talk about, being on, instant insanity. That was just, the worst experience. And I mean, it'd be different if I had somebody that could take the fucking that I was providing, but they couldn't. And so being in your late 40s and in TRT with no one to fuck, and your dick is hard all the time. It would wake me up in the middle of the night. And I can't do anything until I take care of it.
We're too old for that.
I don't need. You can't go back to sleep. You ever fucking try to go to sleep with a kickstand? It doesn't help.
You can't roll
Yeah,
over.
no, you can't. No, you have
on
to
your
take
stomach.
Then the first thing in the morning in the shower, and then you get,
Oh, my God.
on your lunch break at work, and you get home in the shower again, and it's just I wish there would just be a way to end this. I know people are supposed to. I'm supposed to be healthier, but I don't see how this is supposed to be healthier. I'm just wasting children.
I think you should just let your dick die of natural causes, like it's meant to.
No, I do that. I think when we see old wise men, they're old wise men because they're no longer
not
thinking
thinking
with their
about it.
dick.
Yeah.
They're not thinking with their dick. Yeah, they're just it's just like, there's a reason why. Like, you don't realize like how peaceful life is until your dick is in charge again.
Yes.
When your dick is in charge again, there's no peace. All your dick is doing is trying to get you into something. War, yeah, everything. Yeah, it's just like that. No good comes out of a penis.
No.
I see why people want to cut them off now and become something else. I get it.
I look at it, man. I used to look forward to my dirty old man phase. But
You're not there?
And I was like, nah, I feel like I've been living it the whole time.
I think you're both doing your dirty old man.
I don't have the old man phase because I've been doing it for 51 years.
So what you're saying is nothing's changed. Right.
Nothing's changed.
I actually feel that way too. I think I've always kind of just lived my life and to have fun. So like I don't feel like I'm any different now than when. And I hate to say it, but I don't feel like I'm any different now than I was at 16. And I'm not saying that I didn't mentally progress and become a different person. I did, but I'm just saying as far as the shit that I'm into, like I'll still throw on a Black Sabbath album and smoke a joint just the same as I would at 16, and enjoy it just the same as I would at 16 at 56 or 66.
I hear you.
Or whenever, you know, I just like I'm not putting an age on myself, and right now, like I feel like if I wake up from doing this podcast in the morning, then yay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good day was had.
Right.
Hilarious.
I agree, man. It's a good time. I'm gonna grab another slice of pizza real quick.
Well, we upgraded to the Papa John's. Everybody knows us. We've always had Little Caesars for the last 5 some odd years, and Little Caesars has done us wrong by no longer having the $5 hot and ready. So until Little Caesars has the $5 hot and readies, we have went to Papa John's.
That's inflation has gone way too far now.
Inflation has got ridiculous because it's gotten to the point like I'll just go to the store for a couple of things and spend $30-$40. I'd be just like, God bless. And then you do that a couple of times, then you've been through $100. And then do that a few more times, then you're going through half your fucking check. I'm just like, I just got paid 3 days ago. Where did this all go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to live in one of those caves. I think I'm just going to... Yeah, I'm just going to let the lease run up, or whenever the podcast fails, you know, I'll just be like, well, I'm going to live in a cave.
That's fun.
You know, I'll edit the old videos and keep posting them from my cave. Although if the shit goes down and the apocalypse happens, I know where there's a couple of caves. If y'all want to go rave in a cave with old Muffin here, boy, we're going to...
I'll probably be hanging with my Republican friends, honestly.
God.
They've got better guns than you guys do.
So actually, I would probably be heading down to Sloan's. Like that's my game plan. Is like heading down to Sloan's compound. He's got guns and land, and you know, just like, hey, bud, remember me? You want a podcast tonight?
In the fucking apocalypse.
Yeah. Nick will have to drive me down there to be my sober ride because I'm not going to be sober during the apocalypse. Like the shit starts breaking down, every bottle I have on the property will be drank, and then I got to call Nick and be like, hey man, I need another bottle. He's like, well, you got a car? I was like, no, dude, it's the apocalypse. It's you and me, baby girl. It's you and me, baby girl.
I'm sitting there talking for 8 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So we're heading to Canada. Nick, I know you don't drink anymore, but
There's a lot of weed in Canada.
yeah, there's a lot of weed in Canada.
Awesome.
I think we can make that work. And land. Beautiful land.
Take over Canada.
The 4 of us.
We were going to do it with Australia. I don't see Canada being that much worse.
That's closer.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we don't have to get planes. We can just drive across the border.
Fuck it, let's go. I wasn't doing anything this
There
weekend.
you go. Oh, dude. All right. We're going to start the apocalypse. We're the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
That's it.
So which one are you? Do we even know? What are the... Do we know which of the 4 horsemen are?
Famine.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I'm definitely not famine. That's famine. This is famine right here. I'll be pestilence. I'm a
I
pest.
ate so much pizza earlier.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Oh.
He'll be shitting later.
Yeah. Oh, no, he'll be shitting in here later.
Dude, I take big dumps. Big old dumps.
Man, turning
And they're all solid.
oh my God. Turning 51, I think coffee is starting to affect my bowel movement.
Really?
So like, yeah, if I
For the better or the worse?
for the worse.
Oh.
Because I drink so much. I drink like 10 cups of coffee normally.
That's all right. 10 cups or 10 mugs. So that's the difference. Because 10 mugs is 20 cups.
On the actual pot, up to 10.
Okay, right on.
And that's filling up my. What do you call it?
So you drink a pot of coffee.
Yeah,
All
pretty
right.
much.
Yeah. So in the morning, I'll drink a half a pot of coffee, but then on the way to work, I'll wind up grabbing a large coffee from McDonald's. So by the end of the day, after my first coffee break, I would have drinking a pot of coffee a day, and I think that just kind of keeps me regular. I don't think it affects me, especially at this age. But I can tell you what, man. As soon as that alarm goes off in the morning, as soon as I get up, I have to shit.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, as soon as I get up, I let Boris out on his chain. He's got to go shit. You know, he's basically my age at his age, you know. It's like two old men, first thing in the morning, we got to go shit.
Oh, that's great.
Then after my first cup of coffee, then I take my second shit. Do y'all have do you guys do one big shit, or do you have several shits a day?
Several. All day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
All day?
I haven't had a solid shit since Nick was born. And it's just spread out, dude. It's like rabbit
For
shit.
30 years.
Oh. Yeah, I have IBS like a mofo, dude.
That's hilarious.
It's wrecked.
That's
Just like
rough,
my
dog.
toilets, dude. Like, it's...
Oh, they actually do say that coffee does fuck up your gut biome. So if you are having a problem from coffee, you probably should cut back.
Well, yeah, I'm
It is an addiction, though. So you're not going to be able to quit.
Get headaches.
Because I tried quit smoking pot and quit smoking coffee at the same time. Let me tell you something. Like, I can handle not smoking weed, but not smoking coffee is a completely different base.
Really?
Yeah. Because if I gotta stop drinking coffee, I'm gonna have to fucking have weed. There is no way. Because man, I've never felt DTs from weed is like you get night sweats for like 3 or 4 days, right? Then it's gone.
Yeah.
DTs from coffee is a motherfucker.
Yeah, I think it's
the
nasty
headaches,
yeah.
the head, like right behind your eyeballs, like someone like hit you with a softball, and then the softball like lodged up behind your eye. Like, that's what it felt like. It was just ridiculous, man. It was just, and then you would still like get these like shakes because you're going through withdrawals. Your body's wanting
It's
that
a drug.
caffeine.
It's a drug.
It's a drug.
Yeah.
Like coffee, man, is fucked up. I was so scared. I was on Xanax for 13 years. So when I decided to stop taking Xanax,
That can be dangerous.
be deadly.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to wing myself off of it. So I wound up winging myself. Winging myself off of Xanax was nothing compared to winging myself off of coffee. And I wasn't able to wing myself off of coffee. I wasn't able to do it. I think I lasted like 3 or 4 days.
I know I've started drinking. It used to be maybe every other week I'd have a pot of coffee throughout the day. But then it started to be more regular. So now it's like, twice during the week, and then 3 times a week, 4
And
times
that's
a
the
week.
extra coffees that you get. When I was at
But- yeah, go ahead.
AutoZone, man, I would fucking go across the street to this Somalian fucking coffee shop that had the best coffee, and I would wind up fucking getting like 4 or 5 a day of these large fucking double lattes from them, man.
Just
yeah,
hallucinating.
they'll have 4.
Hallucinating a child.
Yeah.
And then
There'd be 4 shots of espresso in these motherfuckers.
he's on Somalia. He's seeing Pirates and Sons.
Camel milk, made with camel milk. It was like real shit. Like if
Oh my God.
you want to have some real shit, go to a Somalian coffee shop.
I'm your barista now.
All right, y'all are too silly.
That was a step too far.
This has been fun. I like it. I like it.
It's been fun. It's been a good time.
Nick is high. He
I'm
gets.
so stoned.
It's sleepy Nick.
Yeah, well, he's sleepy and quiet. He turned Chinese on us.
And he's the host of the fucking show.
The host of the show, and I'm just like, I could sit here and eat the entire show. I'll tell you that much. I am that kind of
Munching.
stoned right now. Yes, dude. I'm fighting like the pizza demon.
That's awesome.
Well, we've done 2 hours. I think what we should call it.
We're gonna call it.
Are you good? Because Nick's gonna fall asleep. we don't need him sleeping on the way home. Is everybody good to drive? I know
yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't drink, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
good to
good.
drive?
Good.
Okay. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say fuck you all. Good night. Nick, what do you say?
Fuck you all. Good night.
Monty, what do you say?
Love, peace, and hair grease.
Mr. Blevins?
Let's all try a little bit harder, okay?
Fuck you, good night.